time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, the wind is howling out there. A few flurries. Maybe you're in an area where you got a little bit of snow, but for the most part down in the valleys, we didn't get much, Manansky. And I know you didn't feel much in the line of wind, but I was on the road in the afternoon, out on the thruway, and I got to say, the car was being blown all over the place.
Oh, yeah. It was funny to me. In Mills, anyway, it wasn't noticeable. I'm not saying it wasn't windy, but they were warning of those big gusts, and I just I didn't really feel them, but it seemed like last night it kicked up. I was like, what is going on outside? And it was whistling, howling wind all over.
I thought the wind was going to be gone by this morning, but it's blowing out there right now, and will continue to do so through the day today. I thought it was really the details. A lot of details came out that I guess were out there in regards to that issue that happened at the Cohoes Middle School. And Sandy
Hill
Middle School in Cohoes, involving an instructor who just so happens to be from Frankfort. And the details that came out of that story are pretty shocking, I think. We've now learned that 17 of the teachers at that Cohoes Middle School have decided to sue. That came this week because on Monday, the Frankfort man, the instructor, 58-year-old Patrick Morgan of Frankfort, has pleaded guilty to unlawful surveillance. And right after that occurred is when the 17 teachers decided they were going to sue.
So
their claims are pretty tough.
Right, yeah. And look, I don't ever want to be in a situation like that. I mean, that's awful. And I don't even want to get into the whole thing.
It does make you think about when you go into a bathroom and you think that, just the pure fact of going into the bathroom, right? I mean, you would expect that in the bathroom, you're in there and there's nobody looking.
So I would say this, though. And again, I completely feel for the victims in this case. I'm not trying to argue with them. I'm just saying the district gets sued for unsafe work environment, essentially, right? Like, how would we know if someone went in and stuck a camera in our bathroom?
Well, their argument is pretty strong, to be honest. They allege that the administration was aware that Morgan had a history of engaging in inappropriate conduct. It doesn't explain what that is, but says he had been in trouble, if you will, before. The district knew it. And they should have done something to protect teachers and staff and students. You know, that co-ed bathroom where and here's where this gets worse. The co-ed bathroom was used by male and female staff and for students who had a disability. So now you have some students in there, too. There's no word if any students had video or involved in the videos or the pictures. Additionally, Herkimer County arrested him after the initial arrest on 11 charges that include 11 counts, a charge with 11 counts of videos being taken, they allege, at his home, including in the bathroom at his home, and there's an endangerment of welfare charge in Frankfurt at his home as well. So are we to draw from this that what was going on at Cohoes Elementary was going on at his home? So I do think that I'm not surprised that the school has been sued a part of this. If there's a history, if there was zero history, how would anyone have known? The school would have been duped just like the teachers were duped. But in this case, they say there were signs. Things had previously happened. The school should have been there to protect. I think it's pretty customary that they get involved. You know, when there's an accident, they sue the town, they sue the county, they sue the store and that is in front of where the accident occurred. They sue everybody.
Yeah.
This is because how much money they're going to get out of the teacher.
Exactly. So, yeah, I certainly feel for them. That's disgusting. I would never want to be a victim of something like this. I don't even understand. And again, if it's what I think it is, I don't want to get too deep into this. But what do you even?
Well, let me answer that for you. He faces additional charges where we said in Herkimer County. He was placed on administrative leave. According to the lawsuit, it alleges that he recorded 17 coworkers in various states of undress for the purpose of sexual gratification, according to the lawsuit. You're asking why.
Yeah.
But furthermore, the suit also claims that Morgan shared the videos with third parties and that he received compensation for sharing the content.
Oh, my goodness.
So
this is about
I feel like I've answered all your questions.
You have.
Yeah.
Actually, excellent job there. I just don't get it. So this isn't about going to the bathroom per se. This is about catching people undressing.
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not, to be honest with you,
just
this
don't
must
get it.
be some sort of if there's a calling for this, I've never looked it up. And listen, don't go looking it up.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
Because it's funny, we were talking the other night about, I'd seen a show on TV and I had said, well, after the murder, they're going to get a bag of lime. And my wife said, for what? I said, I'm pretty sure they use lime to cover a body, and it prevents odor, and it decays. I think that's what Here, let me look it up. And my wife said, don't do it. Because if you do, and something terrible were to be happening, and someone alleged something, on your history would be how can lime prevent people from catching you in a murder? Same thing here. Don't look it up.
Okay.
And you don't want to. You probably don't want to see the pictures.
Trust me, I don't. You hear about this sometimes. Somebody hides a camera in a bathroom.
Why?
And I'm like,
right? You're saying why? What are you? But apparently there are fetishes out there. I guess. Anyway, that full story is up on our website. It's a doozy. Last night, Utica Comets in town playing at the Adirondack Bank Center. Davey, it was a loss, but the win was you got to spend time with Stefan Rubitsky.
Yes, I did.
I heard
Thank
all
you very
about it.
much for letting me use your tickets. I had a good time.
Beautiful, Davey. Glad that you did.
So 3-2, they lost. They did pick up a point, and Smitty was telling me he was there. First of all, he said he loved your tickets, which, by the way, anybody who doesn't know has never had Bill's tickets before. You're right on the glass. I mean, you're right in the action.
It's nice when when the players come being checked into the boards and you just jump back and one thing you don't want to do is put your glass, your soda or your beer or your cocktail or your hot dog. You don't want to set it on the
little ledge
on the
there.
barrier there. There's a little ledge. Because they come in, they knock that all over the place.
It goes flying,
That happened day one. Richard this morning says, Jeff must have no windows in his house or he sleeps all day. The wind howled all day yesterday, very strongly and into the night. I prayed the lights didn't go out. Maybe the Mills is in a dome of some sort, says Richard.
Maybe we're a valley in a valley. Maybe that's what it was.
Could be.
I don't know. I don't have a great answer. I will tell you this, though. Like, for instance, this morning, after I heard it howling all night, I walked out of the house this morning. It was windy, gusty winds. You could feel it. You could hear it. And I'm telling you, I rolled into the parking lot here in Marcy, and I haven't been outside long. It was just enough time to walk across the parking lot, get out of my vehicle. It was significantly calmer in Marcy than, or was it bad out there when you were here?
I don't know. I just walked from my car in here. I really don't know. And I didn't feel what I felt yesterday driving where I was being blown all over the road. And that was in the afternoon. It was like 1, 2 o'clock. So I thought the wind was pretty terrific yesterday and overnight. And, keep setting off your alarms. If you have an alarm at your house, the wind somehow will set off your alarm all night long. It just gets to be, it's probably the right night to break into somebody's house because their alarm's going off. And they're like, it's just the wind.
For the 9th time.
Yeah, for the 9th time. Okay, so there's that going on in the world tonight. The Buffalo Bills will be playing the New England Patriots. A little worried about that game, but you know what? Every game is a big game, as Jim Boeheim will say. I would say that anytime you're playing Belichick, you got to be at least somewhat concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's Thursday night in prime time. Of course, only Amazon Prime people get to see it. If you don't have it, you can see it at a bar. They do have packages out there. The bars had to buy into Amazon packages like they do with other NFL games. And in addition to that, it'll be on WIBX. We'll have the show, have the full game here on the radio beginning tonight at 7:30.
Absolutely. And I'll say this. I'm looking forward to it because it's one of the few Thursday night games. I mean, other than I was all excited about the Thanksgiving tripleheader. It's one of the few Thursday night games, though, that's actually worth watching.
This is a doozy. Yeah, this is going to be a big game. And the Bills are beaten up just a little bit. And let's see where it goes tonight. What kind of an injury, and I almost fell right off my chair here. What kind of an injury? Ryan Nobles yesterday on the radio saying a little worried that maybe Josh Allen has more of an injury than anybody's letting on. Too.
Yeah.
And when asked about whether or not he was injured during the press conference last week, he said everybody's injured at this point in the season.
He's probably right, but you never want it to be your quarterback.
That's kind of avoiding the question just a little bit, right? This story out of Syracuse, former Syracuse University freshman will spend 6 months in jail after admitting he sexually assaulted 2 students incapacitated by alcohol during their first weekend of the 2020 fall semester. I guess my question would be, is 6 months in jail long enough for that crime?
What's the term? Did they say sexually assaulted?
Yes. Sexually assaulted 2 students who were apparently incapacitated due to alcohol.
So,
and I get it. You're a 19-year-old. You're a freshman. This is your first moment of freedom after high school. Everybody's out there drinking and consuming, and I don't want to say everybody, but in this case, 19-year-old Jacob Cohen left campus after an August 29th, 2020 incident in which he fought with another male student who had learned of the assaults, which had occurred the night before. 3-month investigation led to charges that Cohen had entered an SU dorm room without consent and sexually assaulted 2 female students inside. He was indicted in December of 2020 on first-degree rape in connection to one of the women and attempted sexual abuse in connection with the other. He pleaded guilty on Wednesday to third-degree rape in relation to the first woman and attempted sex abuse in relation to the second. And will be facing up to, he'll spend 6 months in jail. Well, only, in my opinion, only 6 months.
I completely agree. That's why I was curious. Was it a rape or did he, and I'm not trying to say one's better.
They were passed out and he had sexual relations with them and they didn't. Yeah, they were passed out.
It would sound certainly like 6 months does not fit the crime there. When you allegedly rape somebody, and he did plead guilty to third-degree rape.
And that was a plea bargain deal, right? In addition to 6 months, in addition to 6 months in jail, he'll spend 10 years on probation. He will become a registered sex offender upon release. That's something that's going to hang with him for most likely the rest of his life. He'd spent more than a week in jail at the time of his December 2020 arrest before being released on $200,000 bail. He's been living with his parents back in Ohio since then. I would say keep him there.
Yeah.
Keep him in Ohio.
Absolutely. And imagine that, the parents. I mean, you're a parent of a child in college.
I don't even want to think about it.
Right. That's the type of thing where, like, you drive to the school and take matters into your own hands.
It's the type of thing where the authorities will tell you, be careful, don't do anything. I know what you want to do, but do not, because you'll be the one that will find yourself in jail. They'll be harder on you than they're going to be on this kid.
Well, apparently, if he's only getting 6 months.
I'm sorry, though, but by age 19, you know that you're not supposed to have sex with a female who is passed out.
100%.
New York State Thruway Authority is planning to raise tolls across the entire system. WGRZ is reporting the Thruway Authority is seeking a 5% increase on tolls for Easy Pass customers, the first system-wide rate hike for Easy Pass users since 2010. Having the Easy Pass has really helped in that while the rates were going up, having Easy Pass kept the rates down. But now you're going to pay a premium if you don't have Easy Pass, but you're going to pay more with Easy Pass as well.
Yeah, so I feel like obviously you got a benefit from Easy Pass because they wanted to convert everybody over, right? So, okay, fine. Here's my question: what's the justification for raising? They fired all the people who used to work in the booths. It's all electronic now.
Yeah, you would think that they have saved some money, but my guess is, like everything else,
and that just happened.
Costs more now with gas prices to plow the roads, et cetera, et cetera. The Journal News reports vehicles without Easy Pass transponders, which are charged through tolls by the mail when license plates are photographed, would see an even bigger rate hike. Tolls by mail are currently 30% higher than Easy Pass. So if there's ever a reason why you should have Easy Pass, it's a 30% savings. That's right now, and it'll be even more going forward. They're currently 30% higher for Easy Pass users than Easy Pass users, and the rate differential would increase to 75% above Easy Pass rates. So if you're getting the toll by mail, you'll be paying 75% more. That's pretty big. The Easy Pass rate on the Mario Cuomo Bridge, formerly the Tappan Zee Bridge, will increase to $7.75 by 2027. Rates will go up 50 cents annually starting in 2024.
Yeah, I certainly encourage people to do that. I actually don't have an Easy Pass, believe it or not. I should get one, but just based on the fact that you're going to be paying 75% more. Also consider this, because this was something that, like, my grandmother would happen with her a lot, and she had stopped driving and actually had passed before, before I think the tolls by mail began. But somebody like her who just travels maybe every other month to Syracuse, maybe for a doctor's appointment, or maybe you're only going out to Turning Stone. She'd drop $20 in the slot machine, get back on the thruway, and come back home. The toll at the time was only like, even now, what is it, 80 cents to drive to Turning Stone?
It's funny because I don't know. This is part of the problem with Easy Pass is when you have, and I've had Easy Pass since it came out. Having Easy Pass, you're not checking the rates. Whereas it used to be,
right on the card.
Do I have $1.35?
Right, exactly.
We're getting off at this exit. I got to get $1.35 out. The Easy Pass just eliminated all that, but it does also make you not think.
Right.
And now it's even more so because there aren't even toll booths to deal with.
But the funny thing is, let's say even $1.35. The state pays basically, 55 cents to send you a bill to get back for $1.35.
Correct. You're gonna pay for that.
Yeah. So it's just do the Easy Pass. It's easier. It's a lot less hassle.
By the way, there's some guy in the 540 says you can watch the game for free on Twitch. If you have Twitch, you could get the game tonight.
Well, that's probably an illegal stream though, and I don't know that it's good
I don't know.
quality.
I don't know. Do you know anything about Twitch, Davey?
No.
Other than the fact that we both have one, I don't know.
Isn't Twitch the thing where basically people will stream their life for like 36 hours at a time? It's just
no.
Oh, that's something else.
No.
We've done the show that way before. I thought it was Twitch. This
No,
is something else.
No,
Okay.
Twitch is one of those services. Look it up. You can. I don't know. It says you can grab the game that way, or you could sign up for Amazon Prime and get your packages delivered. That is really part of the big savings of Amazon.
Oh.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. Watch NFL Football Channel streaming live on Twitch.
Check it out. I'm just saying. Check it out. Sad news in the rock world. Vocalist and keyboardist for Fleetwood Mac, Christy McVie, died yesterday. She was 79 years old, which I guess when you think about it, all of our legends of rock are now to the point where they're in their 70s and 80s.
Well, Kanye's still young. But
Well, I wouldn't call him a legend of rock. There you go. Maybe a rock head, yeah. All I can say is I don't think President Trump will be inviting him to dinner anytime soon because he's out talking smack about Donald Trump now.
Oh, is he?
And Trump is talking smack about him. So
how about this? We settle it right now. Trump will withdraw his bid for the White House, and we'll just do a celebrity boxing match with him and Kanye, and everyone goes home happy.
It's funny because the two stories, you can deal with the Fuentes thing, which he is a known white supremacist and anti-Semitic person. But just focus on the Kanye West part. Trump is saying, I brought him in because I wanted to tell him not to get into politics. Kanye is saying, that's not the case. I told him midway through the dinner, I'd like you. I'm here to tell you. I want you to be my running mate. I'm running. And he said that's when Trump started yelling at me. Now, you'd have to understand this is coming from Kanye West, so take it all with a grain of salt.
Forget the boxing match. Pay-per-view of that dinner is I'd pay.
Can you imagine? Having all of them mic'd up and not knowing it, and actually saying, "Yeah, I'll pay $50 for that pay-per-view."
Oh yeah,
I totally would. It would have been to be a fly on the wall. I mean, wow.
That's when Trump started yelling at me.
Vocalist and keyboardist for Fleetwood Mac, Christy McVie, died yesterday. She was 79. Her family's statement said she passed. You okay in there? Sorry, you gotta get that checked. Vocalist and keyboardist for Fleetwood Mac, Christy McVie, died yesterday. She was 79. Her family statement said she passed peacefully after a short illness. Not sure what it was. One of her earliest lead vocals to be heard on album rock stations in the 1970s was the Fleetwood Mac song, Heroes Are Hard to Find, which is how this montage will start off. Just listen to some of the vocal work performed by the legendary Christy McVie of Fleetwood Mac. One of my favorites right there. Love this song. Yeah, pretty sad, right? 79 years old, passed away. The other part of this is for those that may not be big into Fleetwood Mac. If you could grab my screen here, it is a little surprising when you hear those songs and because Stevie Nicks gets so much credit for many of the Fleetwood Mac songs, and there was a bit of a rivalry between the two, I believe. But the fact is, Christy McVie sang many of the Fleetwood Mac songs. Her real name, by the way, if you're ready, her real name is Christine Perfect. That's her real name. Her real last name is Perfect. That's true. She changed it when she married Fleetwood Mac bass player John McVie, who's the Mac of Fleetwood Mac, along with Mick Fleetwood. She also she was a solo act in London in 1968, had a solo album in 1970 before joining Fleetwood Mac. Even her early vocal work sounds great. She joined Fleetwood Mac in 71. As we said, that song, Heroes Are Hard to Find, not only kicked off their 74 album, but it would be the title track. She was one of the rare women in a rock band back then. Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks would join her in Fleetwood Mac by 1975, and they would become a supergroup. Stevie Nicks wrote a heartfelt tweet about the person she called her best friend.
That is sad.
Very, very sad. I don't have I guess I do. Let me take a few calls. I have more on Christy McVie that we'll get to coming up. Kathy in Rome, stand by. I'm going to get to you. Right now, there's a story out there about spiking flu and RSV, and we're seeing that happen here locally. But Tanya J. Powers has how it's affecting the schools and hospitals across the nation. Tanya Powers, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Really quickly, and I want to get to that in just a second. I'm going to put you on to a thing you were just talking about, Christine McVie.
Yeah.
And passing. Take a listen to the Song Exploder podcast. December of 2018, they put out one where they looked at "Go Your Own Way" by Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
And they basically take the song apart, and they talk about what was going on at the time it was written, and all the dynamics within the group. If you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, you may find it very interesting.
Yeah. What's the name of the podcast again?
Song Exploder. They do that.
Song Exploder. Yeah.
Rishikesh Your Way. Yeah. He hosts. It's a fascinating podcast because they do that. They take songs apart and they look at the different pieces of it. They also talk about the history of it and how it was written and stuff. So
I've heard that. I've listened to that podcast before. Got to check that out.
Thank you, Tanya. Always on top of your game.
Good tip, and a sad day in rock history yesterday, no doubt. All right, so we're looking at spiking flu and RSV, but not just in children, though, right?
Yeah, seniors. That's the scary part.
Seniors, yeah, those 65 and up. And we're talking, but the reason we're talking about the flu and RSV at the same time is because what we're seeing, according to the CDC, the numbers that are affecting, like the flu cases and the worst of them, we always hear about how it affects seniors and little kids the worst. It seems like, this sort of goes hand in hand with the information that we're seeing about RSV, that there's a lot more seniors that are being affected by that as well.
Okay. This RSV is tough because it affects it goes to the lungs, very similar to what COVID does, and really affects seniors and young children really intently.
Yeah, it does. It causes infections of the respiratory tract. Like you said, it's one of those things where older adults are at risk. If you look on the CDC or you just Google CDC RSV, it'll probably come up to the page on older adults.
Yeah.
They can be very dangerous. Each year, it's estimated about 6,000 to 10,000 deaths of older adults due to RSV infection. Those who are at the highest risk are those 65 and up, adults who have a chronic heart or lung disease or a weakened immune system, that kind of stuff. That's one of the things that you need to watch out for if you're in those categories. Obviously, wash your hands, keep your hands off your face. Cover your coughs and sneezes, disinfect things. Those standard health protocols help with that as well.
It's funny. We have a friend who has boasted quite joyfully, that she had never had COVID. And last week, at the end of last week, we got a phone call, and she said, "You're not going to believe it, but the record is over. The streak is done. I have COVID." And at the time, she had tested positive, but really didn't feel any symptoms. She's had a rough case of COVID this time around. So this stuff is still out there. It's still affecting people that it didn't affect and reinfecting people. But now what we're experiencing is this RSV and the flu along with it, which is something that didn't happen. That didn't happen during COVID.
Right, because we were, a lot more of us were wearing masks, washing our hands a lot more. There was a lot more people using, the hand sanitizer. This is cold and flu season anyway. Those are always good measures to keep your hand sanitizer. It's not the time to give up on your Purell. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, no doubt about it. And one more thing, Tanya, if I can throw it in there. A week ago, my wife, who is not yet 50, and they say worry about this after the age of 50. But my wife came down with shingles and extremely watching the pain that she's gone through. I will be very soon getting my shingles vaccine, something I haven't done as of yet. But if you've had chickenpox, they say you probably should get that shingles vaccine because, trust me, says my wife, you don't want it.
Yes, you are exactly right. That is another one of those things. If you're 50 and older, I think that's usually the baseline where they say you're 50 or older, you should be getting your shingles vaccine. And like you said, it's rough. I'm so sorry that she's having to deal with that.
Tanya, we appreciate that. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. By the way, that podcast she was talking about is called Song Exploder. It's from December of 2018. And it's 21 minutes long, so perfect for a drive. Maybe you're heading to the valley to fill up your gas tank and save, I don't know, $12 on a fill-up of gasoline. Song Exploder, Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. It breaks down the song in 21 minutes. Pretty cool. Kathy is in Rome with an update on Saturday. Syracuse is playing Notre Dame on Saturday. And is it Michigan or Michigan State that's your team, Kathy?
Michigan State.
All right. And your team, Michigan State, played Notre Dame last night, and we get an update.
Well, I tell you, I guess I'll have to eat crow. I realize their two top players who score the most are, injured and on the sitting it out, but still, they should have played better. I have to give credit to Notre Dame. They rained down tons of threes, and Michigan State lost like 20 points.
Wow. Well, that's the perfect recipe against the Syracuse zone, right? Those hot 3-point shooters, which just beat the daylights out of Syracuse. So a little warning, yeah.
If Syracuse does real well with threes, and Notre Dame is up to par, Syracuse may go down, but maybe we'll have a miracle, and it'll be a good night for Syracuse, and they can come away with a win.
All right. By the way, Michigan State was ranked number 20 in the country.
They'll drop more.
Yeah, 70-52 was the final.
But
Kathy.
I can count that Coach Izzo should have them there in good shape for March Madness.
All right. That's what we Syracuse fans are hoping for as well. For
All right,
Cuse.
Bill. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Kathy. I think I'm going to start today. I'm with you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to start the weekend today, don't you think? I like it. We'll get some other comments coming up in just a second. We mentioned Christy McVie passing away. We'll have more on that coming up. Chevy Chase channeled Clark Griswold to help light a massive Christmas display at a Raising Cane's restaurant in Chicago. Then he rode off with the restaurant chain's owner in the infamous Vacation Family Truckster. Here they are in a promotional video talking about what happened. It's Christmas time.
Chevy Chase, everybody. It's time to light the restaurant.
You got it. I dedicate this restaurant to the Raising Cane's Christmas. It's a beaut, Todd. It really is.
Thank you, Chevy. You taught me everything I know about exterior illumination.
Oh,
Chevy, I got a big surprise for you. I got you your old family truckster, Chevy.
wow.
And they drove off. Okay, isn't that wonderful? Today, by the way, is National Christmas Lights Day, if you care. I don't know. It's the day you put up your Christmas lights. I feel like people have had them up, in many cases, before even Thanksgiving. National Christmas Lights Day. Police are on the hunt for a Florida man who stole dozens of items from a Burlington store. He was caught on camera dragging out as much as he could right out the front door. Here is Police Sergeant Jose Torres talking about this very wild shoplifting incident.
He's doing the holiday shopping on the dime of the store, and it's something that we will not tolerate. Very brazen thief. Right now we have a saturation of officers out there in the parking lots, undercover, in uniform, and when you see something like that, they need to be caught.
And a Cincinnati man on the flip side of the coin, Cincinnati man rescued a bunch of packages dumped by a FedEx driver and then delivered to everyone who was missing their deliveries. Zach Amwine talking about what he witnessed and why he decided to take action and bring everybody the packages that were lost. Here we go.
There was packages laying everywhere, so we decided to pick them up. I called every number on each box and told them that I had their package and I will deliver them to their house. Kept thanking me so much because they said their package was delivered and it never was.
Some comments this morning. Rob out there saying Elon Musk has the liberals in a tizzy. They want to control free speech, going to expose all of the censorship. Okay. And this morning, let's see. This one, Okay, Ann said, Ann is also a cancer survivor.
Yes, she is.
She just said, I went to the oncologist yesterday. The doctor said everything is good. On the 21st of this month, I'll celebrate my birthday, 11 years of remission, and Christmas. What better gift could anyone get?
Thank God, and God bless you.
Gift. And then a couple of comments from Mike this morning. In prime time on Amazon Prime, what a rhyme. It's prime time on Amazon Prime. Okay? Regarding raising throughway tolls, if you can't figure out why the price has gone up, blame the supply chain. Yes, the prices are going up because
it's COVID.
It's this COVID, it's the supply chain, and it's that war in Ukraine. It's just something we have to do. RSV and the flu, oh no, we need to start washing our hands all over again. Let's hope, Michael, that people out there are still doing that, washing their hands.
So just a quick thing on Musk and Twitter. I don't think he's announced this yet, but he came out and said he may have internal records, documents, discussions before he took over that relate to the Biden laptop and why it was suppressed, or that people were being blocked on Twitter. And he essentially said, he basically was like, do people want me to release this? And I think he's being a little ridiculous about this. If he has something that reflects those conversations or those discussions, or there's even some rumors that high-ranking political people were involved in these conversations, just release it. I don't understand why he's teasing it.
And Rob, the only thing I'd say to Rob is Republicans and Democrats alike should be cautious of Elon Musk, right?
I think so, yeah.
Not somebody either party can trust. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
I think that the left is clearly squirming and uncomfortable with his ownership of Twitter right now. But I agree. It's not like I don't think he's all in the bag one side or the other, and I think he will do stuff when he thinks appropriate to needle Republicans.
Got a break. We'll come back. News straight ahead, top of the hour as we blow into a Thursday morning on WIBX.
I invite you to remember a loved one during Hospice's Light Up a Life Holiday Memorial. With a gift of $10, your loved one's name will be displayed on a holiday tree. With a donation of $100, receive a cardinal ornament to symbolize your support of Hospice's mission.
Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Buy direct from the manufacturer and make a splash with a new spa from Strong Spas, now open in Sangertown Square. Choose from over 100 ready-to-deliver spas in stock, with new inventory weekly and prices slashed to move fast. Visit the largest spa showroom in New York State and ask about their many financing options. You have to see this showroom to believe it. Strong Spas. Experience the difference in person. Sangertown Square, New Hartford, or online at strongspas.com. Hurry, these spas won't last.
High-quality care comes from the compassionate, the courageous, the dedicated nurses and support staff of the Mohawk Valley Health System. Every day, the members of the MVHS team make a difference in our community's health. MVHS is looking for dedicated people to join this exceptional group of employees to care for our patients, residents, and their friends and family. We offer competitive pay, a generous benefit package, and many career options where you can grow. We've increased pay rates for critical jobs, offer reimbursement to become certified in select jobs, and provide sign-on bonuses for certain positions. And now, we're redefining healthcare and health careers in our community with New York's newest hospital opening next year. Join the MVHS team and be part of an organization that takes care of our community. Visit careers.mvhealthsystem.org for more information. Mohawk Valley Health System. Unrivaled care. Unrivaled careers. This is for you.
WIBX 950, Utica, Rome.
It's still a mystery. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. What happened in Moscow, Idaho, where there was a vigil last night for the 4 university students murdered in a home more than 2 weeks ago.
Tell the fun stories. Remember them in the good times and do not let their lives be defined by how they died.
That's University of Idaho Dean of Students Blaine Eccles. As for the investigation, there's still no suspect.
Law enforcement officials now walking back their initial claim that one or more of the victims was targeted, saying, quote, detectives do not currently know if the residents or any occupants were specifically targeted, but continue to investigate. Prior statements were a miscommunication.
That's Fox's Anita Vogel. It's the Senate's turn to try to avert a railroad workers' strike next week that could hurt the economy after the House passed legislation to force unions to accept the tentative contract they rejected.
A separate bill approved by the House would also add 7 paid sick days for rail employees, a crucial part of the labor dispute.
It's really a health issue. It is a physical health issue.
Sean Geary is vice president of the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees, one of 4 unions who did not ratify an administration-brokered agreement earlier this year.
Fox's Jared Halpert. Another setback for President Biden's plan to wipe out thousands of dollars in federal student loan debt for millions of Americans. A federal appeals court upheld a prior ruling, putting it on hold over challenges the president exceeded his authority. The now ex-CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX that fell into bankruptcy with billions of dollars in losses tells the New York Times via video from the Bahamas he messed up big time. Sam Bankman-Fried said,
I didn't ever try to commit fraud on anyone. I was excited about the prospects of FTX a month ago.
He's under civil and criminal investigations. Congress wants to question Bankman-Fried at a hearing later this month. America's listening to Fox News.
Lisa Booth here for Bishop Gold Group. So just when you think the stock market's recovering and everything's going back to normal, well, here comes another downturn. So what are you going to do? The answer is gold. The company that I trust is Bishop Gold Group. They can advise you on investing in gold and gold IRAs. So act now and get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualified purchase. Call Bishop Gold Group on your phone, dial pound 250, keyword Bishop Gold. That's pound 250, Bishop Gold, or go to bishopgoldgroup.com.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
We have mostly cloudy skies and off to a chilly and windy start here this morning. We are dealing with 31 degrees, maybe some light snow showers depending on your location. A wind advisory continuing through the day today and a winter weather advisory as well. We'll take a closer look at that forecast coming up in just 2 minutes. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. A Frankfort man who pleaded guilty to putting a hidden camera inside of a staff bathroom at a central New York school, now being sued by 17 teachers at his former school. 58-year-old Patrick Morgan of Frankfort is now named in a lawsuit filed in court this week by several of his co-workers from the Cohoes Middle School, which he taught at for more than 28 years. The teachers named the school district in the lawsuit, claiming the district allowed for an unsafe work environment. Morgan was arrested back in February after teachers at the Sandhill Middle School found a camera disguised as a cell phone charger in a co-ed bathroom at the school. The bathroom was used by male and female teachers and by students with disabilities. 3 people being helped out after a fire at an apartment building in Utica. The American Red Cross is assisting. The blaze happened yesterday at the Lillian Cooper Apartments on Genesee Street. When crews arrived, they found heavy smoke coming from the side of the building on the 4th floor. Power had to be shut off as water was getting into electrical fixtures. No injuries reported, and the cause of that fire is still being investigated. Days may be numbered for a family-owned eatery in downtown Utica. The Compound, a mom-and-pop sandwich shop, first opened in Clinton back in 2020. Almost 2 years later, the eatery moved to Bag Square in downtown Utica, but the doors could be closing in 2023. The owners say they have a hard time seeing the restaurant reopen after the upcoming Christmas break. An overdose spike alert has been issued regarding several overdoses in Oneida County, meaning there are street drugs circulating the area laced with fentanyl. County officials say there were 9 overdoses in the county during Thanksgiving week, with incidents in Utica, Rome, and New Hartford, and of those, 2 were fatal. Officials say the overdoses likely involved a combination of drugs like heroin and cocaine and other substances that were mixed or laced with fentanyl. The incidents occurred between November 22 and 26. The 2 fatalities were reported on November 22nd and 23rd. Now, police say both incidents that resulted in death, naloxone was not readily available to reverse the deadly overdose effects. However, officials said in the other 7 overdoses, the life-saving medicine was administered and did help revive those victims. And Utica's Nexus Center will celebrate a grand opening ceremony tonight. Nexus is a 1,200-seat venue for youth and junior hockey, soccer, and lacrosse tournaments. The feature rink of that facility serves as home ice for the Utica University women's hockey program and home to the Utica Comets junior teams. That grand opening ceremony is coming up tonight at 6 p.m., and it's hosted by our very own Bill Keeler. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast has a pair of advisories in place today. A wind advisory continues until 4 this afternoon. A winter weather advisory in place until 7 o'clock tonight. Could see wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour and a couple inches of accumulation depending on your location. We have a chance of snow showers through the day today, a high of 35 degrees. Total daytime snow accumulation around an inch expected. Tonight, chance of snow showers mainly before midnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. New snow accumulation tonight, less than a half inch expected. Sunshine returns for your Friday with a high of 45. Bill, something you talked about this week, the yo-yoing temperatures. Friday, 45 and sunny, after we're dealing with mid-30s today. Saturday, rain in the afternoon, then showers, snow showers mixing in. Saturday's high 52.
Yeah,
Sunday,
up and down, up and down.
Partly sunny and 38. So, right now,
which day will be better, though? Yesterday was in the 50s, the low 50s, and it was blustery and not nice. Sometimes 38 and sunny might actually be nicer.
Absolutely. Right now, we have light snow, stiff breeze, 31 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:07.
Well, last night, the Utica Comets earned a point but lost in overtime, 3-2 to Laval. Our man Davey was at that game, and again, an exciting Wednesday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. And something to consider, we mentioned the Nexus Center will be having its grand opening tonight. I got to tell you, there's so much positive to talk about with that Nexus Center. It is just packed with people from all over. And last night, Davey, what was it like last night?
It was packed last night when I was going to the game. They had like a hockey game or something there.
Well,
I haven't
right.
checked it out, but I'm going to check this thing out.
And it's also interesting tonight when they and by the way, the grand opening, the ribbon cutting is all open to the public. There'll be a reception afterwards.
Oh, okay.
It's open to the public tonight. Begins at 6 o'clock. It will be held on turf. Obviously, they're not going to bring us all out onto the ice, but it'll show you how they can quickly, and I say quickly, but very efficiently, go from a sheet of ice to a turf for lacrosse or for soccer.
That's really cool.
It's really, really cool.
You know, there's an old saying, if you want something done right, just do it yourself. I feel like we should start saying, if you want something done, just call Rob Esch. He'll get it done.
And you put Paceni together with Rob Esch, and I realized that after COVID, there was a lot of, people, we wanted that thing to be done. But at the end, the two of them, along with Carl Anise, so the board, Esch, the county executive, the legislature, and really the community, I think, got something really, really big done for this community, and we're going to reap the benefits of it, Davey.
But I got a full report about how beautiful the Nexus Center from the future mayor that sat next to me last night. He said it's
Mayor
beautiful. You got to check it out. Huh?
Mayor Rubitsky?
Mayor Rubitsky.
Okay, so he says, Stefan says it's, you know who's causing this mayor thing with Stefan? It's Paul Buckley. Stefan says the first person who said he would vote for him is Paul Buckley.
Wow.
So tonight, and I talked about Nexus, it'll be something we'll be talking about tomorrow as well. Patriots hosting the Buffalo Bills, kicking off Week 13. This is a big rematch of last year's wild card round as the Bills visit New England in Foxborough. and it's going to be it's just one of those games, right? Anytime the Bills play the Patriots, but anytime you face Bill Belichick, it's always an adventure. And the Bills are a bit beaten up right now. We'll tell you the Rangers snapped their 3-game skid with a 3-1 victory over the Senators in Ottawa last night. What else can I squeeze in? Obviously, there's a lot of football action this weekend, a lot to get into. The Knicks losing to Milwaukee 109-103. Manansky with a sigh. And here he is to give us his assessment of the newly grand opened tonight, Nexus Center, is mayoral candidate Stefan Rubitsky.
Well, hello, Bill.
Hello, Stefan. And is it who gave you the idea to run for mayor? Who popped that one into your head?
Well, Paul Buckley said he'd vote for me if I ran for mayor.
Okay, all right. Well, you've got one vote now. You got one vote.
Yes.
You can build off that. Yeah.
There was a game in the Nexus Center last night. It was the Clinton girls hockey team versus playing Skinny Atlas.
And the Clinton was victorious last night, if I am correct.
The Clinton Warriors, yes.
Yeah, they won that game. Okay, so don't you find that place is, I mean, remember, we're talking about new construction. They think about things that we didn't think about 50 years ago, 100 years ago when we were building complexes like this. But it's just fantastic. And when you think about how parents can travel, the money that will be spent when hotels and restaurants and that sort of thing, the tax revenue that will come out of this is a revenue generator for the area. And it creates a hustle and bustle downtown that only complete streets can handle, I would imagine, says at least one council person. But it is fantastic what the place looks like, how it takes care. There are luxury boxes inside. It's also going to be the home of the Utica Pioneers women. So the women's hockey team will have their own locker facility. They'll have their own home ice. That's pretty darn cool.
They don't have to fight for time practicing. They got their own sheet.
What a huge recruiting tool for Utica University there. And then I have to say that inside there's a Utica Club bar, and it serves all Utica products, and it's really and by the way, this is something that I believe was the vision of Rob and Rob Esch and Jeff Stone over there. And Rob really had this vision to create an ode to Utica bar a grill, and right outside that bar are the original letters that were on the sign over Utica, over the FX Matt Brewery.
Get out of here.
The original. I'll show you a picture. I took a picture of them. They're like, I don't know, they're like 8 feet tall, and these are the original Utica. I believe it's the Utica is.
Is this Utica Pilsner? Is it?
Whatever that was up there on the sign, I'll show you a picture of it. I'll try to put it up on our YouTube feed this morning. But they're as artwork inside that to enter that bar grill. It's really, really something cool and a real piece of history. You can go up to it and you can literally see the rust on the letters that exists from the years that it towered over the FX Matt Brewery. Pretty cool. Anything else you want to add, Mayor?
And the Comets lost last night. I was there, and but they got a point. It went into overtime, but they got defeated 3-2.
All right. Well, thanks for that update. You have a wonderful day, Stefan.
Thank you. Bye, Bill.
All right. Have a great day.
Take
Stefan
care, bud.
Rubitsky. 7:14. We'll break. A lot to get to here coming up this hour, along with Hobica's free money question of the day. And we'll do that at 7:35. Tom Hyland's going to make his way in the studio today. We have a tractor from the Sheriff's Association and Sheriff Mashel. That is New Holland that we are auctioning off. You can bid on that. Davey, the current bid is
$300.
$300 on this. It sells online for about $400. So we won't let it go for less than that. No. Everything goes to Toys for Tots. through the Marines. We appreciate what they do. And Tom Hyland will be by this morning from Utica Mac with something else we might auction off.
Very cool. Look forward to it. Tom, one of our great neighbors, and we want to say good morning to another one of our neighbors just down the road. For years, they were known as Standard, but they had a ribbon-cutting ceremony, Standard Heating, now Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating just down the road here. So a rebrand and an official ribbon-cutting ceremony yesterday for another one of our neighbors. Again, Standard, you may have known them as Standard Insulating, now Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. We say good morning to them as well.
All right, we'll break and come right back here. Stand by. It's 7:16 on WIBX.
Did you hear about this new gift card? It literally works everywhere.
Everywhere? What do you mean?
Like all the best places. The Taylor and the Cook, Aquavino, Babes.
Whoa, that is a lot.
No, I'm not done. Kookies, Comets tickets, Adirondack Bank Center concessions.
Oh my.
I'm still not done. The Comets and UCFC store, soccer tickets, 72 Tavern.
This one card can do all of that?
Yep, an all-in-one gift card for Utica. And if you buy it now, you get $5 free for every $20 you spend. Get it at uticagiftcard.com.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The wonder of youth was still very much a part of your life when you nervously got on one knee to ask one of the most important questions and anxiously waited for the answer.
Yes, of course, yes.
This is Sarah from Engelbert's Jewelers. You started your forever together with Engelbert's, and because we have jewelry that fits every occasion and every budget, you have included us in many of life's milestones and celebrations. From Mother's Day to anniversaries, graduations, and numerous holidays.
Yes, of course, yes.
You started your forever together with Engelbert's Jewelers. We have jewelry that fits every occasion and every budget. Celebrate all those years of holidays together. Feel great with affordable elegance from Engelbert's Jewelers.
SimpliSafe was named the best home security of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report. But we don't do what we do for the accolades. We do it to protect you and everything you love. Our advanced sensors and HD cameras are powered by 24/7 professional monitoring for fast emergency dispatch. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to get 40% off any new system today. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let's see. Ward Algreen is the Chief Operating Officer of Marketing Vitals. It's a company that uses knowledge of veteran industry insiders along with data and technology to help companies boost sales, especially companies that are in the restaurant business, restaurant brands around the world. And there's some news out today on it's not just here. So restaurant sales, we're hearing restaurant sales are up. However, the number of people who are dining out is down. And I'm interested to see what is happening nationally, what is going on nationally versus what we're experiencing here. Ward's on the line right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So I have to say, I think we were reaching prior to the COVID, prior to COVID, at least here, we were reaching a point where I think we were at a high for restaurants. More restaurants were open 7 days a week. There were more people inside the restaurants. It just seemed like we were reaching a culinary peak in restaurants, at least in this region of upstate New York. But now things have changed since COVID. It's almost as if people have been trained not to go out. What are you seeing nationally?
That's exactly right. During COVID, you had no choice. You couldn't sit down and enjoy time with your friends. It's probably the number one meeting place every day of the week. And so people were forced to, take out food, dine in, take the dine in and take it home. And so people were that trend started to shift the other direction. But at the same time, people naturally wanted to get back together. So as COVID started to slow down, people definitely started to get back out.
Yeah. But in terms of the number of people who are dining out, is that number up since COVID or is it down?
Definitely up since COVID happened as far as the number
I
of people.
understand that. Yeah.
But as far as the percentage as to what historically was, it's still down because people learned that takeout and virtual restaurants and ghost restaurants and all the different means that you could have food delivered to you became much more prevalent and easier. So naturally people started to gravitate in that direction.
So I got to say that I wonder how much of this is self-imposed, and by that I mean. I'll give you an example. We're going out on this weekend. We're going out for dinner with a group. There'll be 6 of us. We're struggling finding a restaurant that can accommodate 6 people that has openings at the time that we need to go. I think there are fewer people that the restaurants have to draw from, fewer employees, and I think that's become a bit of an issue and playing a role in this. They're not accepting as many reservations. They're not open as many hours as they were, et cetera. What are your thoughts, and are you seeing that nationwide?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the wage piece of it is a real struggle in relation to, people with the Great Resignation and wanting to work other jobs only because they were kind of pushed out due to the lack of customers coming in.
Yeah.
And so you see restaurants are having that struggle of attracting the younger generation who wants to work in a restaurant. For a long time, restaurants are kind of seen as the lower end of the spectrum, which is unfair. It's probably 40% of the people in the world, their first job was working in a restaurant.
Sure.
And so, from that standpoint, when there's less people to handle the front line, you have to look at other avenues, other technologies. Even to the extent that some people are using robots, deliver food to the table. It's hard to understand how far that'll go, but technology is certainly helping some restaurants by way of QR codes on the table, so the customers can pull up the menu, order, split pay, and take care of the entire transaction by way of their phone.
Listen, I still tip 15%, even though we were out last night for dinner and she was a robot. It was I couldn't get her to smile. I couldn't. I mean. These kids today, it's just, no. But, it is the other thing that I've seen around here is we've had some legendary restaurants that have been around for many, many years that have been highly successful. And a lot of times the restaurant is built off one person or a husband and wife or, whatever the dynamic is. It could be husband, wife, whatever. All of that does exist out there. But I find that, they wanted to sell the place and they couldn't find anybody to buy. So they're like, you know what? We're retiring. And we saw that happen to a number of restaurants after COVID, which kind of opens the door for new blood to come in.
Yeah, a lot of the brands, and especially independents, look for second-generation locations where they can go in. A lot of the costs of building one from scratch are eliminated; they're already taken care of. And so, that becomes a natural avenue for people who have the next line of people who have a great idea, have a passion for food, and they want to be able to get in, fairly conveniently to open up a brand. Sometimes, some of those people who are retiring, as you say, sometimes they don't have family to take over or people that are interested, and so their only choice is to kind of let it go.
Yeah, I wanted my kids to take over, but they're not interested, and I don't have a buyer. We're going to Florida. We're going to better weather. Another very interesting thing, and I wonder what your take is on this and how it's affecting restaurants. It does seem to be a new opportunity for restaurants. So if I have let's say I own a pizzeria, and I do good business out of the pizzeria, but now with Uber, I've seen this opportunity where I could pick up a chain where, what do they call these chains? That there's no brick and mortar. They just open up in the kitchen of a restaurant, and it shows up on Uber and all of the, or whatever, Uber Eats or whatever the service you're using. And these chains, which don't really have a brick and mortar location, you can order them online and have it delivered to your home. What are we calling that today?
You have both. You have a virtual kitchen, and you also have a ghost kitchen. So the difference is a virtual would be operating just as you suggested. Let's say it's a restaurant where they have extra time in the kitchen. They're not maxed out. So they can bring on additional menu items through a DoorDash or one of these different ordering agencies where you can find that place, but they can also digitally turn it on and off as the kitchen can handle more business.
Right.
But the problem is you don't often know where that food is even coming from. It's typically coming from a restaurant, but the ghost kitchens where you actually have a professional services kitchen, which you don't know where it is, you can't even pick it up if you want to.
Right.
It's designed with no storefront, where it's handling multiple brands. So the nice thing is you can say, I want a Chili's burger and a so-and-so pizza and a so-and-so sushi, and you can get all three items on the same order from the same kitchen.
So I had found a burger place on DoorDash, and it said it was located at such and such a location in a town here, New York Mills. And I don't know where that is. So I'm going to drive over there tomorrow and see if I can find out where that is. And there's no such place. Sure enough, it's inside a pizzeria. They're operating that chain. The bags have the name on it. It's like ordering from McDonald's, but a different brand. Really kind of a unique opportunity for local restaurants. You're right. When they have the ability, they have the staff, they have the kitchen space. Why not take advantage of this DoorDash trend? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it's kind of thing, but it's like going to a Macy's. You don't find the Macy's brand, but you find all the other brands located in the Macy's.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a centralized distribution point.
Yeah, interesting. All right, it's going to be the real interesting thing of all of this is where will we be next year and the year after that? Because COVID has certainly had an effect on industry and certainly on the restaurant industry.
Well, the one thing is people still have to eat 3 and 4 times a day. That's not stopping. And the younger generation, good, bad, or indifferent, is most of them couldn't put together a Thanksgiving dinner with directions. They weren't brought up learning to cook with their parents. And so they don't have much of a choice other than eating out 21 times a week. So the business is going to be fine, but it's always supply and demand. As wages go up, prices are going to go up. People are going to say, wow, that's really high. And then they're going to go back to trying to buy stuff at a grocery store, and they're going to find out they don't know how to cook. And then they go right back to the restaurant.
Yeah, this just doesn't taste good. You're right. And right now with the cost of, you think you're struggling at a grocery store, the restaurants are having that same problem. And when they raise prices, people complain as if, how could you raise prices on me? You're squeezing me, the consumer. When in reality, these restaurants are being squeezed terribly because of this inflation. Not an easy time.
Yeah, they're getting squeezed from every direction, whether it's the cost of electric, inflation, food costs, supply chain. There are days where they can't even get the ingredients that they need to make a certain product, so they have to learn to be flexible. They're dealing with part-time people who all want higher wages. So it's a struggle. You're talking about a business that deals with perishable goods that are only this food is only good for hours sometimes or minutes.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like being a magician to run a restaurant.
Ward Allgreen, thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
One of the things, I have a couple of friends in the restaurant business. One of the things they said that they've noticed since everything opened back up was it's more common that someone will come in, have a drink or two, and then order a meal to go, as opposed to come in, sit at the bar, have a dinner, and then maybe have a drink or two. They'll have a drink or two and then order their meal to go, which they've noticed.
See a lot of that.
Yeah.
The other part that I find interesting is people would, at 10 o'clock at night, you'd see a restaurant that would be full.
Yeah.
Around here. Today, it's like 9 o'clock. Everybody's closing up shop. Bars as well.
Yeah, unless you're a gas station, everything's closed.
Everything closes so early now. It's crazy. On the restaurant issue, one of the things, this is Mike, one of the things that Utica has really benefited from is a refugee population, is the amount of restaurants that we have seen that are delivering ethnic food. It's one of the easiest businesses to start, especially when you use your family as the majority of the employees. So I think we should all kind of challenge ourselves to find a restaurant, an ethnic restaurant, and try food that you've never tried before. And there's a lot of that out there in Utica and Rome that you can take advantage of. Keep in mind, we have a pizzeria in every corner. It didn't used to be that way. There was a time where a pizzeria was this new ethnic thing. Pizza, you got to try it. And look at where we are today. 7:31, coming up, Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week, and Hobica's free money question of the day. Great one for you coming up this morning. Great question. We'll get to it coming right up at WIBX.
Till December 21st at Harley-Davidson and Power Sports of Utica. For every $100 worth of merchandise, get tickets to win a drawing of your choice, a new ATV or motorcycle for the holidays. We will match any competitor or e-commerce price. We're a Toys for Tots drop-off till December 9th. Till December 21st at Harley-Davidson and Power Sports of Utica. For every $100 worth of merchandise, get tickets to win a drawing of your choice, a new ATV or motorcycle for the holidays. We will match any competitor or e-commerce price. We're a Toys for Tots drop-off till December 9th.
Earn more for every dollar saved with AmeriQ. Open a new 18-month share certificate at 4% APY. Save more with your credit union. Get started at ameriq.org/save today. APYs are current as of November 4th and are subject to change without notice. Minimum balance to open is $1,000. Fees may reduce earnings. Withdrawals of principal are subject to early penalties. Insured by NCUA. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect.
Oh, if you lived round here for long, you're getting prepped for winter. Now, something to add to your checklist is immunizations. Well, I know it's no fun, but you know what's even less fun? Getting sick, especially if you're over 65. You could use high-dose flu, pneumonia, and a COVID booster. Protect yourself from all the nasties out there while you still can. Make an appointment at kinnydrugs.com for Pete's sake. Oh, quit your lollygagging.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Hey, I want to tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts. Chuck Sedala and everybody over there, so friendly, so quick, in and out, you're on your way, and you need that first thing in the morning. Maybe you're taking a box of coffee to work, or you just need a coffee or a latte. Over 14 different flavors of lattes, including the holiday flavors that are now in. Coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches, freshly made bagels, freshly made donuts every single morning, and that drive-thru is fast. Chuck and everybody at Daylight Donuts wishing you a happy holidays and reminding you, if you want those snowflake rolls for your Christmas dinner, you got to order them before the holiday. Order them today at Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. Listen, Mike with a comment here this morning, and he says that my Christmas never begins until I hear the woman say, yes, 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 I will, or I do, however that thing goes. Is that the Engelbert's commercial?
I believe so, yeah.
He said the holidays just can't start until he hears that commercial.
Well, holidays have begun.
Oh, they have. Is that commercial currently playing?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Yes, it is. Manaski with news right now at WIBX.
Bill, a couple of advisories we have in place this morning, a wind advisory and a winter weather advisory. Full details on that coming up in just 2 minutes. This news update is brought to you by the law offices of William Mattar. Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar. President Biden will welcome French President Emmanuel Macron to the White House today for the first state dinner of his administration. Together, they'll highlight the collaboration between the two nations on space exploration and climate efforts. The White House says a bill to stop a potential railway strike needs to be on the president's desk by Saturday. The White House approved a bill yesterday that would force rail companies and their workers to accept an agreement the White House helped broker earlier this year to avert the potentially crippling rail strike. A federal appeals court rejected a bid by the Biden administration to revive the student loan forgiveness plan. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday declined to block a ruling from a Texas judge earlier this month, last month, that vacated the $400 billion student debt relief program. A suicide prevention net on the Golden Gate Bridge is nearly 2 years behind schedule, and now comes word it will cost more than double the original price. Expected to cost now $400 million. The lead contractors on the project blamed the delay and the cost overrun on the government agency that manages the iconic San Francisco Bridge. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy says the e-commerce giant will allow an anti-Semitic film to remain on sale for now. During a discussion at the DealBook Summit in New York City on Wednesday, Jassy said, as a retailer of content to hundreds of millions of customers with a lot of different viewpoints, Amazon has to, quote, allow access to those viewpoints even if they are objectionable, end quote. The UN is awarding special protected status to the French baguette. UNESCO, the UN's cultural body, announced on Wednesday that the baked artisanal bread has been officially recognized on the list of intangible cultural heritage. The baguette joins other protected culinary traditions from around the world, including Neapolitan pizza, kimchi, the Mediterranean diet, and Belgian beer. WIBX News Time is 7:38. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. We have a wind advisory in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon and a winter weather advisory in place until 7 o'clock tonight. Could see wind gusts of up to 45 miles an hour. Some snow showers today and a high of 35 degrees. Total daytime snow accumulation of around an inch expected. Tonight, chance of snow showers. A new snow accumulation less than a half inch expected. An overnight low of 25 degrees. Mostly sunny skies for your Friday with a high of 45. Saturday, chance of showers early in the day, that being snow showers, then rain showers mixing in for the afternoon. Saturday's high 52 degrees. Sunday, partly sunny with a high of 38. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies, quite windy, 32 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:39.
All right, I have a great question for somebody to walk away a winner of dough cash here this morning from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. It's our free money question of the day. And, Davey, we're going to go this morning with a special caller, and it's caller number
6.
And tell me the significance of the caller number 6 this morning. It means something to you, and it's significant to you. What is that, Davey?
It doesn't rhyme anything to me today.
It doesn't?
It's the point. It's the Bills are going to win by 6.
All right. I knew there was something. I knew there was something.
Yeah.
Nice. The look on his face when I said it means something to you doesn't.
That's why I started laughing. He's like, what are you talking about?
But you came up with something, Davey. It shows you. That mind is working in there this morning. Gotta love it. We're looking for caller number 6. That significant number here this morning. Chance for you to win $106.90 from the Hobica Law Firm right now. Be caller 6, 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
It's the holidays. You need a new bed, but you've got shopping to do. I get it. This is Kevin Fear, president of Mattress Express. Would a $1,000 prepaid Visa card help out? How about a 75-inch flat screen TV? You're going to get your choice of those two things at Mattress Express when you get a select luxury king or queen set, like the number bed by Instant Comfort or Posh and Lavish. Yes, of course, you'll get the flex set option in king or queen. 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers, and an incredible night's sleep. Don't forget, we also have Purple and Puffy, the big online brands when you come to our store. Come on in, try them all before you buy. We'll pull up their website in store. We'll give you the same price, their same holiday deal that they're giving online, but you get to try it first. It's the holidays. You always get a great deal during the holidays at Mattress Express. Go to mattressexpressny.com or call 1-800-NEW-BEDS.
Did you hear about this new gift card? It literally works everywhere.
Everywhere? What do you mean?
Like all the best places. The Tailor and the Cook, Aquavino, Babes.
Whoa, that is a lot.
No, I'm not done. Kookies, Comets tickets, Adirondack Bank Center concessions.
Oh my.
I'm still not done. The Comets and UCFC store, soccer tickets, 72 Tavern.
This one card can do all of that?
Yep, an all-in-one gift card for Utica. And if you buy it now, you get $5 free for every $20 you spend. Get it at uticagiftcard.com.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. Saving money, that's what it's all about, so we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, it's a beautiful Thursday morning, isn't it? Big day. Tonight is the Nexus grand opening, ribbon cutting and all of that. And I will have the luxury and honor of emceeing that. I don't know what these people are thinking having me do it. I don't know what they're thinking.
Come on.
But I'll be there tonight for that. Pretty excited. I have been a huge supporter of this project since day one, right? I mean, and I think it's not just us, but we've all, the community has been a great supporter. And you want to thank Rob and Tony, Carl and East, and all of what was accomplished over there. It's really a gem for this community.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. There's a photo gallery. There's a story about it up on our website, and a full photo gallery inside. You're going to be, it'll blow you away how beautiful the place is inside. And you know what else is beautiful? Watching people come in and spend money in restaurants and hotels, and they, 20, 30 teams a weekend come in here from all over the country.
Very cool,
how
too.
Incredible.
In your gallery that's up on our website, as you mentioned.
Nancy Ford did the photos, so they're really good.
It's got the old Utica, I want to say branding, but the old logos, the old signage from what's that, go back to the 70s?
You're talking about Utica Club stuff.
Utica Club, yeah.
In that bar area, they did an awesome job. There was a young woman who has a company, I think she might be out of Waterville. They did all of that artwork in there and put that whole thing together. I wish I had her name to plug her today. I don't, but it's beautiful. The whole thing is great. And when you see people downtown, we're in the midst of a resurgence, and it's pretty darn cool for us.
As a matter of fact, one of those people who works directly across the street from the Adirondack Bank Center and the Nexus Center is, I think, our next guest, or no?
No, but it will be soon. Court is in Rome, where big things are happening as well. Court, good morning. How are you?
I had such a good segue.
That was good. I did it. I just messed you up. I did it on purpose. Hi, Court. Are you ready to take a shot at this morning's free money question of the day?
I am ready.
All right. I bet you're really ready. Like if you're not ready today, you'll never be ready because you know the way my mind works and where I go with these things. So let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Let's see if you focused in on the key point that I focused in on here, and you win the money. Here we go for $106.90. Bob Welch, former member of Fleetwood Mac, released his solo album in 1977. Yes, that was Christy McVie singing background vocals on his hit song from the album. What was the name of that song? Ready, go.
Love's got a hold on me.
That was a toughie. That was a toughie.
I never heard that song.
You've probably heard this song. It's called "Sentimental Lady." She did the background vocals on the song. I love this song. It's like one of my favorite songs growing up as a kid. Court hates this song. Hates everything about this song. Thinks it's
Christian McVie was good. I liked her solo stuff. She was very good.
yeah, and that band, man, that Fleetwood Mac. And now you'll never get to see Fleetwood Mac as it was, and that really, really blows. Okay, Court, we're going to give you. I got a table for you at Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. 6 tickets. You use them as you can. You can work that out with Davey. Also, the all-in-one Utica all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, good at everything Utica over at the Odd. Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and all concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center. It's all yours. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, all right?
Hey, thanks, Bill. Hey, happy holidays to you and your crew there.
Thank you so much, Court. We appreciate it. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. Want to switch gears and go to, this is across the street from Nexus, Mike Curley with UPD, Utica Police Department. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, each week we do our Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. And Mike, let's talk about this week's wanted person.
Sure. So this week for the Utica Police Department is an individual named Robert Watson. He's a 55-year-old male, currently wanted for criminal possession of weapon third, a D felony, as well as some other felony-related offenses related to a domestic incident that occurred in November.
Okay. Now, these are cases where somebody didn't show back up in court. They had a court date, or explain what happened here.
So possibly there's a couple types of warrants. One's an arrest warrant and one's a bench warrant. In this particular case, charges were filed related to a domestic incident. Mr. Watson was then served a summons in the mail to report to court and did not show to court. So he has not been to court yet for an initial arraignment. This is an arrest warrant based on the charges alleged during the domestic incident.
Okay, all right. And, of course, great way to do this is through Crime Stoppers. It's 100% anonymous.
Yep, that's the best way. 100% anonymous, either the P3 tips line, the 800 number, or through the website.
Okay. Mike Curley, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You do the same. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com. If you're watching on YouTube Live, you can see the photo right there, or go to our website, WIBX950.com, and it's up there in studio right now. Tom Hyland from Utica Mac. Tell me about this calendar, gentlemen.
Well, good morning. I thought you said when you were going to switch gears, you were going to talk about the toy, not about who's most wanted.
We're about to do something good for Toys for Tots, but I want you to talk about that calendar.
Well,
it's a huge calendar.
Yeah, the calendar comes from Mack Trucks. We give them out to all our customers that get new trucks, and some of our older customers as well. And they have current and past model trucks on it. And they're coveted by the trucking industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big calendar. I like
and
that.
like most Mack trucks, this is an oversized calendar.
Oversized, yeah. Yes, it is. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about what you're doing here today and what we brought in here today, which is really tricked out and beautiful.
Yeah, this is, well, we're going to call it a 2023, since that's the current model year, and it is called a Mack Jack pickup truck. And it is a ride-on toy that is made for Mack trucks, and the value is about $350 with tax included.
Okay.
And we're donating that to you for the toy drive with Toys for Tots and WIBX.
We appreciate that. You're now in competition with Sheriff Mashel.
Well, we're going to start the competition off a little differently.
Okay.
Because we're going to kick in $250 right off the bat.
Right off the bat, I like that.
So
All
now
right.
whoever makes a bid, you're going to add $250 to it, and let's
Okay,
see.
so you're adding. I
Well,
see
yeah.
what you're saying.
We don't want it.
So you don't want it.
No, we don't want it.
So you're not only donating the truck, but you're donating $250.
Correct.
Wow, that's awesome.
Correct. Because
So-
it was kind of back and forth last year, from what I remember.
It
And,
was.
You know,
yeah. You don't want
everyone
any of
wants to
that.
please the sheriff.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And you know, as Sheriff Mashel said, it's not going to get you anything special, but you know, please give to me and my cause. It's hard to deal with that, but now you're adding. So if we could sell this thing at value, we're adding $250 to that. That's
Correct.
a great deal. Every penny stays locally for local kids through the Marine Corps' Toys for Tots program. Love it. Can you tell us what is the you know, I keep hearing talk about used vehicles, people who bought a brand new vehicle out there and they paid this, but then all of a sudden they got home and they realized the vehicle they had they've had it for about a year and it's worth more than what they paid for. I can only imagine what is going on in the trucking industry.
Unprecedented is a good word to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Really the exact same thing that's going on in the car industry. So your truck would be worth more now than you bought it because you can't get anything.
Because you can't get
We
them.
can't replace them.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we're on allotment. Most of the dealers are on allotments from the factory. So if our typical year we sell 100 trucks, the factory says we can't build 100 trucks, so we're going to give an allotment of 70.
Wow.
And that's how it is, because
Yeah.
they have the same issues that everyone else has. They're having issues with employees, with supply and demand.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is a stressful situation to deal with.
Meanwhile, you have, you know, I mean, there's been a lot of blame put on China over the last 4 years, and you know, some of it probably warranted, some maybe not. But the one thing that it's China's decisions to shut that country down that are causing shockwaves, sending really shockwaves throughout the world. That country is shut down and welded shut. They weld your doors shut, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had an apartment fire.
Terrible. All those 12
apartment
people
building
died.
fire, yeah.
The people couldn't get out.
Right. Yeah, it's terrible. And I hope people realize that we shouldn't have such a reliance on a foreign country.
You're right.
Even though I don't want to get into politics.
Right.
But
You're
look
right.
Look what it does.
Yeah.
It is too late.
And it is too late. And you know, maybe we are that world economy, but it just shows you when you rely on one nation so much, one place so much, that and what drives that? It's cheap labor.
Cheap labor.
Cheap labor. That's what you know. And it's easy for the consumer. We're all sitting there saying, well, you know, we shouldn't do that. The reality is we're all chasing the lowest price on everything.
Take a look at where some of your products come from
Yeah.
that you buy on Amazon.
That's exactly
well, most
right.
of your products, I should
You're
say.
right. You're right. So if you have a pre-owned Mack truck, that puppy's worth some dough today.
It's about 30% more than it should be.
Wow. Isn't that unbelievable?
Even with the economy starting to show a tick down, it's still up higher than it was when you bought it.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, that'd be a great goal. If we can get 30% more than this sells for,
that's right.
That would be a
That
great
would be nice.
donation.
And I think I can now take a picture of it. You can see it right down. It's a little out of focus there, Jeff. But, you know, other than that, it's a beautiful shot. That thing is cool. It's an open top, perfect for a young tyke to take advantage of.
And his little sister.
And his little sister. Very good. Boy or girl.
That's right.
And the beauty is that battery really moves that thing around like it never did before.
It has 2 speeds. It's got a simulated air horn. It starts up. The engine runs when you turn the key on.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
all benefiting Toys for Tots. And as we said, as the Highlands have reminded us here, a donation, add $250 to that donation, and every penny goes to Toys for Tots, and every penny, every toy stays local.
That's right.
Pretty cool. And you know, this weekend is the New York Sanch Teddy Bear Toss.
That's right. We help them as well.
And you know, you guys help so much with delivery of toys and picking stuff up than you have for years. And we appreciate everything that you guys do. A lot of kids have a much better Christmas because of what you guys do.
Speaking of Christmas, what are we doing for the Keeler Christmas Eve show? Are we doing it on the 23rd this year?
It'll be on Friday the 23rd. It'll be at the Stanley Theater.
At the Stanley?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going big this year.
Wow. Go big or
so
go home.
I'm told. Go
Live
big or
audience?
go home.
Live audience, or is that how many people
Live
you're gonna
audience.
have
You
on?
can come on in. You can. It's going to be an event. So
If everyone brings in the food like they normally do, that you could camp out there.
we've just cut our deal with It's a Utica Thing. Charlie's Pizza, all catered. There'll be plenty of food. That's, by the way, it's 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Right.
No
more Gallagher though. That's a shame.
It's sad. I've had so many people reach out and talk about.
I remember the stories, Bill.
Their experience with Gallagher.
Didn't you have his T-shirts hanging in your basement?
There were 75 to 100 Gallagher T-shirts pinned up. I mean, we ran out of clothespins. We were draping them because Gallagher would not allow. So he got kicked out of the house. He wanted to live with his fans. There's a whole story about it up on our website if you search for it. He wanted to live with his fans, so we found this wonderful couple in Ilion that Gallagher was going to live there for the holidays. And he was living there until one day Gallagher called me and said, "You got to pick me up. She just kicked me out." And he used some choice words. It was very much like this year's weather where we had the warmer temperatures. You know, it's not warm, but it's raining and not snowing. It was pouring rain that night. And all Gallagher had was a bag. It was like a shopping bag and a box. And in the box were about 100 T-shirts that he had signed and would sell at all of his upcoming shows. The box is sitting in a mud puddle on the street in Ilion, and it is pouring rain. He's drenched. We pick everything up. I lift the box up, and the bottom falls out of the box.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I'm piling his shirts into my car, and he said, "Great, now all my shirts are ruined." And I said, "No worries. I'll put them in the dryer, and you'll be fine, because otherwise they're going to smell musty, like Gallagher did." And
yes, he did. I picked him up one day and brought him here, so yes, he did.
It's like a game-worn jersey, those T-shirts, right?
So-
They smell like the player.
He said, you can't, you're right. It's like that.
It's almost like the Forrest Gump T-shirt.
Or like that Aaron Rodgers commercial where the girl just falls over when he throws the. Anyway, you can't put it in the dryer because then they won't be new anymore. I'm like, all right, so that's how 75 to 100 of Gallagher's T-shirts were air drying in my basement just a few days before Christmas. Back whatever year that was, 2013 or something.
Gosh, was it that long? Almost 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it 10 years ago?
Pretty close to that. And, he was up here for the toy drive.
Well, yeah, and we had the thing.
The comedy show that he
Yeah, the comedy
He did a comedy show
He did the
over
Friday
at the
night special show. Remember?
At the
And then one on
Radisson.
Saturday.
Yes, yeah. It was pretty wild. And don't forget the fact that there was at the Radisson in one of the adjacent ballrooms or
That's
whatever.
right.
There was the big religious group.
That's right.
That was I don't know if it was Baptist, but it was evangelical. And Gallagher starts telling these anti-religious jokes over the PA system. I thought we were going to have a melee, and it all worked out. And now, sadly, Gallagher has passed.
Yeah.
And there you have that. Our life.
Chapter of our life.
With Gallagher. Pretty wild. Thank you, Utica Mac. And
So,
the Highlands.
can you? I just want a couple highlights on this. I noticed, obviously, there's seating for two. You mentioned the 2 speeds here. You mentioned the horn. There's cup holders on the inside. These doors open and close on this thing.
It has an aux cord, a place to put an aux cord to run your music.
I was going to say, I was wondering if that was working. Yeah, you can plug in your phone and stream music on this thing.
So it's an auxiliary aux. That's what they call it today. I got to remember an aux cord.
Yeah, not Bluetooth.
Okay.
Well, not Bluetooth, but you can plug in a phone to that,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah. And
Using an aux cord. See, you got me hip all of a sudden.
AUX.
Appreciate that.
AUX.
I like it. Okay, you can bid on it by calling Davey at 315-736-0186. What a wonderful gift for a kid.
And let's get those phones ringing.
315-736-0186. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Happy holidays. Remember the 23rd at the Stanley Theater, 6 a.m. till 12 noon, our Christmas Eve extravaganza. It's really the Christmas Eve extravaganza this year. You guys are invited.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He says he messed up big. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, the founder and now ex-CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX that went bankrupt.
I made a lot of mistakes or things I would give anything to be able to do over again.
Sam Bankman-Fried, who's under criminal and civil investigation over billions of dollars investors lost, tells the New York Times via video from the Bahamas he never tried to commit fraud.
I don't know what's going to happen, and a lot of it's not in my hands at this point. But I want to be helpful wherever I can.
It's on to the Senate for legislation that would prevent a railroad workers' strike next week that could do big damage to the economy. It would force unions into a contract they rejected, like the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen. Its president, Michael Baldwin, tells Fox Business Congress is taking away their negotiating leverage.
Once that's signed, that is law for employees or unions in the industry to hold a strike would be illegal.
Lawmakers may also vote to give them an extra 7 days of paid sick time. A federal appeals court ruling keeps President Biden's student loan debt forgiveness plan on hold. The president's pledging to give Native Americans more say in the federal government at a White House Tribal Nations Summit. Now, today, he hosts French President Emmanuel Macron.
The state dinner and press conference today comes after Biden cast doubt on a 2024 re-election bid, giving this response yesterday to someone in a crowd who shouted 4 more years.
Thank you all very much.
I don't know about that, is what he said. Biden previously said he would make his decision on whether or not to seek another term at some point in the new year.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House in Moscow, Idaho. A vigil last night for the 4 university students found murdered at a home more than 2 weeks ago. Police have no suspect and are now walking back an earlier theory at least one victim was targeted. America's listening to Fox News.
Lisa Booth here for Bishop Gold Group. So just when you think the stock market's recovering and everything's going back to normal, well, here comes another downturn. So what are you going to do? The answer is gold. The company that I trust is Bishop Gold Group. They can advise you on investing in gold and gold IRAs. So act now and get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualified purchase. Call Bishop Gold Group on your phone, dial pound 250, keyword Bishop Gold. That's pound 250, Bishop Gold, or go to bishopgoldgroup.com.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Good morning. We have mostly cloudy skies, 33 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:03. We have 2 weather advisories in place, so wind advisory continuing until 4 this afternoon and a winter weather advisory in place until 7 o'clock tonight. A closer look at your forecast is coming up in just a few minutes. This news update is brought to you by Standard, formerly Standard, now Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating Company, located just down the road from us here on River Road in Marcy. We do have a couple of school delays that came in late this morning. The following schools on a 2-hour delay this morning: Adirondack, Camden, Holland Patton, Remsen, and Webb Union Free School District, all 5 on a 2-hour delay this morning. Of course, you can always get the latest list of school closings and delays at WIBX950.com. A Frankfort man who pleaded guilty to putting a hidden camera inside of a staff bathroom at Cohoes Middle School is now being sued by 17 teachers. 58-year-old Patrick Morgan of Frankfort, now named in a lawsuit filed in court this week by several of his former co-workers at the middle school that he taught at for more than 28 years. The teachers also named the school district in the lawsuit, claiming the district allowed for an unsafe work environment. Morgan was arrested in February after teachers at the Sandhill Middle School found a camera disguised as a cell phone charger in a co-ed bathroom at the school. The bathroom was used by male and female teachers and by students with disabilities. 3 people being helped out by the American Red Cross after they were displaced by an apartment building fire in Utica. The blaze happened Wednesday at the Lillian Cooper Apartments on Genesee Street. When fire crews arrived, they said they found heavy smoke coming from the side of the building on the 4th floor. Power had to be shut off because water was getting into electrical fixtures. No injuries reported, and the cause of that fire is still being investigated. The Oneida County Overdose Response Team has issued a spike alert. During the Thanksgiving week, there were 9 overdoses, with incidents reported in Utica, Rome, and New Hartford. Of those 9 overdoses, 2 were fatal. Officials say that means there are street drugs in circulation locally that are contaminated or laced with fentanyl. The days may be numbered for a family-owned eatery in downtown Utica. The Compound, a mom-and-pop sandwich shop, first opened in Clinton back in 2020. Almost 2 years later, the eatery moved to Bag Square downtown, but the doors could be closing in 2023. The owners say they are right now having a hard time seeing the restaurant reopening after the upcoming Christmas break. More on that story at WIBX950.com. Also, while you're on the website, check out a couple of things. If you haven't seen the inside of the Nexus Center, you can see it for yourself. We have a gallery up on our website. Speaking of which, the Nexus Center having an official grand opening and ribbon cutting at 6 p.m. this evening. The event will be emceed by our very own Bill Keeler, but you can get a glimpse inside of the building right now at WIBX950.com. Also, while you're on the website, you can take a look at the top 10 porch pirate protection tips. 'Tis the season, you know, Bill.
We finally broke down and got one of those. It's like a little mailbox, and it's completely weighed down, so you couldn't lift it. And the packages go inside, and it prevents people from reaching down in.
That's one of the tips.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, we have one of those.
That's excellent. Also, you also have a camera, right? That's another tip.
Yeah, and a shotgun. It's helped a lot. It does seem to help.
I'll give you one more. Maybe if you work all day and you know your packages might be coming that day, let your neighbor know and say, "Hey, neighbor, we're good buddies, right?"
So I was speaking with my wife's father, who they use it's a device that goes with Amazon, and it becomes a part of the app, and the delivery person can open your garage door when they deliver. It creates the window, so when they come up to your house, the garage door comes open, and they're calling right now. There's one being delivered right now. They put it inside they put it inside the garage for you, and then as they walk away, the garage door automatically comes down.
Well, that's not one of my tips, but that's a great one.
It is a device you can get through Amazon.
This list coming to us from the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, the top 10 porch pirate protection tips right now at WIBX950.com. Listen, your Weather Center forecast, as I mentioned, has a couple advisories in place. We have a wind advisory continuing until 4 o'clock this afternoon and a winter weather advisory in place until 7 o'clock tonight. Chance of snow showers this afternoon. Total daytime snow accumulation of around an inch is possible. A high today of 35 degrees. Chance of snow showers again tonight. Otherwise mostly cloudy, a low of 25. New snow accumulation tonight, less than a half inch expected. Mostly sunny skies for your Friday with a high of 45. Saturday, rain showers early, and then changing over to snow showers. We'll have a high of 52 on Saturday, but something tells me it's going to be warm early, and then it will progressively get cooler as we get to the afternoon hours because that rain is expected to change over to snow. Again, high gusty winds on Saturday, maybe around 30 miles an hour. Partly sunny skies for your Sunday and a high of 38. Bill, right now we have cloudy skies, 33 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:09.
All right, I have some sports here for you. Tonight is NFL night, Thursday Night Football, as the Patriots host the Buffalo Bills. And Davey's going to make a prediction here coming up on week number 13. The Bills taking on the Patriots, Davey. And you're dealing with, the Bills are dealing with some injuries here. Nervous about this game? I feel like I'm nervous before every game, but
I'm nervous about the whole season every time the Bills play.
You're right, yeah. Well, and you really wonder.
There's Sean McDermott calling you now to tell you about the game plan.
Thank you, Davey. That's actually Josh Allen calling, but almost. Tonight, it's on Amazon Prime. If you do not have Amazon Prime, you can certainly go to an establishment that will have the game, or you can listen right here on WIBX. Pre-game action begins at 7:30 p.m. tonight here on WIBX.
I hope
Week
they win.
13.
I want to sing. Hey, that's a good song. Let's go, Buffalo.
Nobody wants the Patriots to win, right?
No.
Last night, Utica Comets at the Adirondack Bank Center earning a point but losing in overtime. Final score, the Comets losing to Laval 3-2. On the NHL ice, the Rangers beat the Senators, opening up a home-and-home. They snapped their 3-game skid with a 3-1 victory in Ottawa last night. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Knicks 109-103. Manaski can give his sigh. And here's one, Odell Beckham Jr., and I know Davey has a ton of opinion on this. He's making his New York tour. Well, what we should say is making his New Jersey, New York tour. He'll begin by interviewing with the New York Giants today. After that, he will visit the Buffalo Bills on Friday. What do you think? Does either team need Odell Beckham Jr.?
I think the Giants do need more offensive talent. I think that's clear. If I was in the position, personally, I think I would prefer to have OBJ as our quarterback rather than a wide receiver. I mean, because that's, I think, how bad it is for Daniel Jones. If I'm the Buffalo Bills, I've already got a great wide receiver. Maybe they need another receiver, but I don't want it to be OBJ. He will derail. Do you think the rail strike is bad? I mean, that guy could run a train off the tracks, a team off the tracks in no time. It's all about him. All about him.
I think one of the things that is very positive for the Buffalo Bills this year is that they've created a synergy, and I don't think we put enough attention on how important that is. That players actually get along. There's not a bunch of jealousy. People not talking to the other one. This one's not talking to that one. Arguing in the locker room. All of that stuff. A real problem for a football team. And that's something that Beckham can bring along with his talents to any locker room.
I will say he does have something the Bills have and the Giants don't have since he left. And that's a Super Bowl ring.
Good point. Anyway, the Bills and Patriots tonight. That'll be on WIBX beginning at 7:30 p.m. Saturday night, the Adirondack Bank Center. It's the 18th annual New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss. And there are tickets available. This is a sold-out game right now. Tickets available at New York Sash in their showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, and you can go there and check it out. The New York Sash family has been, that's the Hayes family, has been doing this for years, 18 years to be exact, and it's really awesome. The first goal scored, it's against Oswego, number 6 in the country. First Utica goal scored. You get to throw all those teddy bears onto the ice. It blankets the ice. It's incredible to see it. Started out with hundreds, now it's thousands at each game. All of it benefits local charities, including the one we focus on, and that is the Marines Toys for Tots program. And if you have season tickets to the Pioneers, make sure, if you can't go to the game, that you make sure someone is going, and they're bringing a bag full of teddy bears. It's a great cause. It's all sponsored by New York Sash. It's Saturday night at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. Here at Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we take the term planning seriously. Estate planning is meant to take the stress out of life's uncertainties, such as illness, disability, and death. Traditional planning is critically important, but some situations require special consideration. For instance, if you're a parent with young children, in a blended family, or in an unmarried relationship, you face unique legal challenges. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we can help navigate those challenges. And while planning ahead is very important, if you have a loved one that's currently in a nursing home or extended care facility, it's not too late to act to protect assets against those expenses. Call us today to find out how to use strategies to protect your assets. My team and I can help you sort through any of these legal issues. I'm Rob Hilton, inviting you to call Hilton Estate and Elder Law for a free consultation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Hi, this is Lori from Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC, and boiler mechanics, we've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals, we make it our business to put you to work.
Hi, I'm Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. It's time to raise the bar for the Mohawk Valley region, and with your support of the Genesis Group annual appeal, we can help make that happen. The Genesis Group is the Mohawk Valley source for news and information, views and opinions, community projects, and regional events. Genesis believes that our community is ready for new levels of success. We are welcoming new companies and seeing local businesses expanding. Our region is on the rise. During this season of giving, I invite you to support our annual fund appeal. Your financial assistance will help fund programs and events in education, healthcare, community and economic development, and so much more. Our Board of Trustees have all made a contribution. They join me in asking you to do the same. For more information about the Genesis Group and to make your pledge, please visit our website, thegenesisgroup.org. Thank you.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Portions of today's program brought to you by the man, Ricky Z. Rick over at Steep Pawnee Mazda. And Mazda continues to win awards for performance, safety, and reliability with an increasingly loyal following of drivers enjoying the Mazda experience. Their premium design, fit, and finish paint process is extraordinary, while Mazda's premium interior redefines luxury. As Rick says, it's a different buying experience. Come in, whether it's pre-owned or brand new. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda or a pre-owned Mazda at Steep Pawnee Mazda. And see why it's always easy to do business with a family-owned and operated Steep Pawnee Mazda. Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Senator Griffo in studio here. Joe's going to hang with us for a little bit. Did you just cough, Joe?
I did.
Oh, my
Covered
God.
my mouth, though.
Okay, good. Thank you. That was the nice thing to do.
It wasn't a cough, actually. It was kind of a, I'm not sure what it was.
You were clearing your throat.
Yeah, clearing the throat.
Yeah. So pull that mic nice and close for you there. I don't know why it's not
All right, how's
performing
that?
for you. That's much better. Before we do that, there will be an announcement today from the DA's office. Todd Carville is in the DA's office. The announcement will not come from the DA's office. But Todd is on the line right now. And good morning, Todd.
Good morning, Bill.
You have Senator Griffo here as well, and Jeff Manaske. You're making an announcement today. Can you talk about that?
I am. First, good morning, Senator Griffo and Jeff.
Morning.
Thanks for having me. Yes, very excited today. I'll be making an announcement publicly, an official at noon about my candidacy for the Oneida County District Attorney's Office.
Nice. It's funny that Scott had made the announcement, a real surprise announcement that I wasn't sure that he was planning to announce that morning, but he made that announcement a while back that he was going to be retiring this year. And tell people what drives you into this position, why it's important for you to become Oneida County's next DA.
Well, it's been my life's work. I've been a assistant district attorney for 20 years now. I handle some of the most violent and dangerous crimes, assaults, robberies, gun violence. I'm the chief of the Homicide Bureau, and I just feel like it's time for me to step up and to continue the good work that Scott's already put in place here at the DA's office.
So this isn't, just to be clear and recap it quickly, this isn't a situation where you're challenging the DA. You're looking to run, Scott McNamara will be stepping down. retiring, excuse me. Also, you mentioned some of the cases you handle. So, for those who aren't familiar, you handle a specific type of case, or is it general assignment? Basically, okay, the next case that pops up is yours, then it goes to this one, goes to this one. It sounds like you deal with certain specialized type of cases.
Yeah, that's correct. And yes, so Scott's term ends at the end of 2023, and so the election will be for next year to start in 2024. With respect to the cases that I specifically handle, as the homicide bureau chief, any homicide that comes through the office is initially viewed by me, reviewed by me, and then given to an appropriate ADA to handle. But I do mostly get violent crimes, attempted murders, shootings, assaults, and again, most violent crime and murders.
All right. So that announcement will be made today. It's very interesting to see all the announcements coming in December for candidates. But it does. The world's changing, and Senator Griffo can talk about this. All of a sudden, you're out in the middle of winter or to the tail end of winter. You got to be out collecting signatures now because any primary that might occur will happen in June.
Yes, Senator Griffo would know this much better than I. I'm not a politician. I'm a prosecutor, but I'm going to be entering that world, and the information I've received is that better to be prepared and to start early, I'm ready to do that. So.
I would ask you, and this is a conversation we've had with Scott. Some of the things you guys see in a district attorney's office in general has to be difficult to see. You obviously dig deep into these cases, so you as a member of the DA's office see everything. I can't imagine that that's not traumatic. But in the last 10 years, we have had some just horrific cases that the DA's office and law enforcement have had to deal with, let alone the victims of some of these terrible crimes. But how do you handle that?
That's a great question. I have a big family, a very supportive family. So they're a great release and relief. I coach baseball, and I've coached youth sports for my children, who are now young adults now. But baseball and basketball, so that's you get a release from that. But it is very tough to see the things that we see and try to live a normal life while you're at home. But then obviously see those things while you're at work.
And in this day and age, with bail reform and the new restrictions and everything else that has been handed down from the state, how do you handle that?
Well, I like to pride myself in not only identifying problems but looking for ways to solve problems. So we have to work within the rules that we're given, but we find ways to certainly try to make our community safer.
Yeah.
Certainly in the upcoming months and hopefully after a successful election, people like Senator Griffo are going to be very key to trying to change some of these laws and learn from us, the experts, what needs to be changed and how best to fix these situations.
Todd Carville is with the Oneida County DA's office, and will be announcing today his candidacy for district attorney. Scott McNamara is going to be retiring at the end of next year.
Yes.
Sorry, retiring at the end of next year. Senator Griffo, how do you respond to that?
Well, I'm going to be attending Todd's announcement at noon. I think he is very talented. He's well respected within his field, and I think he is going to be working hard to make a difference in protecting and serving this community. So I look forward to Todd presenting himself, and I know he'll wage a very aggressive campaign, and hopefully he will be successful. And he's right. We'll do our best to change some of these laws because I think people are concerned about their safety, and I think we're going to talk about that. I convened a group earlier this week of law enforcement officials to try to talk about things that we can do with the resources we have. But we've got to ensure that hopefully the governor and the majorities in the legislature are beginning to listen and understand that the policies that they have proposed and put in place are contributing to what we're seeing right now to this concern some of the societal problems.
The fact that Senator Griffo, you'll be attending the announcement this afternoon, tells me that Mr. Carville will be seeking or has already obtained the Republican Party nomination.
He'll be seeking the nomination of the Republican Party, I believe. I'll let Todd answer that.
That is, that is correct. I will be seeking the Republican nomination as well as hopefully the Conservative nomination.
All right. There's an interesting story out there in regards. I know the Conservative Party has been, Joe, and we can talk about this, has been the focal point of a bit of controversy over the course of this last election. But do you know that the Senator Griffo is one of the highest vote getters in the history of the Conservative Party? He was just defeated, holding that record. That is, more conservatives have voted for Joe Griffo than anyone else in the history of Oneida County. But your record has just been defeated by Sheriff Mashel, who got an unbelievable amount of conservative votes in this last election. And obviously the reason for that is because Republicans didn't want to vote Democrat. So in order to vote for Rob Mashel, because he's an attractive candidate for both parties, in order to vote for Mashel, they voted conservative.
Now, by percentage or total number?
Total numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not often Griffo loses
anything.
I think that had a lot to do with the people that were running.
Yeah, you brought it up, Todd. You brought it up.
I think it had a lot to do with the people running the sheriff's campaign, too. As well as the candidate,
Thank
the
you
sheriff
for that,
himself.
Joe. Thank you. Okay, Todd, I do want to ask one final question, and this really is from a listener. Doug is asking, and I believe that he's correct. Generally, the only time the average person is involved with police, on average, would be when it comes to traffic tickets. So his question is, what is your stance on traffic tickets? What will a Todd Carville DA's office, how will a Todd Carville DA's office deal with traffic tickets?
Well, I think Scott's kind of paved the way recently with the new discovery legislation that made handling traffic tickets much more difficult for our office because of the discovery compliance that must be had with even traffic tickets and all things. Diversion is a big part of our office now. Getting drivers to take traffic safety courses if they have clean records.
Yeah.
And it's more mainstream where we actually look at your driving record. We make sure that, this is a lot of times people come in and I've dealt with thousands of citizens for traffic infractions in the town courts and in the city courts that I've handled. But really what you do is you look at their driving history, you make sure that this was an anomaly and that they're not a persistent offender. And you give reductions after diversion as a result of that. However, obviously, if there are persistent offenders that make everybody else's drive on the road more dangerous, then we deal with them in the way that we should, and we take them to trial.
All right. Listen, I know this person who had to go through the defensive driver course, and if there's any punishment out there that changes people's behavior, it is that defensive driving course. Let me just tell you. Not that it's me, or maybe it is, but it is. It's 6 or 7 hours of your life that you'll never get back, and it does dissuade people from breaking the law. I think it probably works. Todd Carville, we appreciate your time. Good luck with your announcement today, and thanks for coming on.
Great. Thank you again.
All right. Good luck.
Have a good
night. Todd Carville is running for district attorney. We'll chat more about all of that with Senator Griffo. That defensive course is, I think the hardest part is, I opted to take it. Okay, it was me. All right. I opted to take it online, and you can't walk away. You can't be doing other things while you're taking that course.
Well, you can't be doing other things while you're driving either, Bill.
That's a good point, and I don't ever do that. However,
yours was speeding, not distraction.
What I found the difficulty to be was there were glitches in the online system. So you would be there paying attention, and it would kick you off, and you'd have to start all over again at the previous stage. I think that 5-hour defensive driver course might have taken me around 8 or 10 hours to complete. You don't want that. I think it is a great dissuader.
And you thought you could speed right through it.
I thought I'd speed right through it. It'd be easy. It's not easy.
Well, don't blame the senator.
I blame him completely for this.
Well, the Democrats are in charge of this state.
We'll speak with Senator Joe Griffo and on some really big issues.
Yeah.
It's not often, Joe, that you're able to come in with multiple resolutions. But I think resolving issues. But I think you have some conclusions for us this morning that are some big ones. We'll get to it coming up in a second. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's very rarely that we agree, but I agree.
Okay, we agree. And that is rare. I love it. What a special day. 8:30 at WIBX.
Hi, this is Jill Hayes.
And this is Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
And we're here to tell you, never let a window salesperson in your home.
Wait, what?
That's right. Never invite a company you don't know yet into your home.
But honey, we need to measure the windows and calculate savings.
I know, Scott, but I'm worried that people will get stuck with one of those high-pressure window companies. So instead, I'm telling them to come to our showroom.
Oh, okay.
Instead of high pressure, come to our beautiful showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, where there's no pressure and all of our products are on display. Siding, bathrooms, gutters, and of course, windows.
Browse our new line of New York Sash brand windows. Open and close them, see how easy they are to clean and how beautiful they look. And only when you're ready, we'll come out and measure them up.
Seeing is believing, and at our New York Sash Idea and Design Center, there's never any pressure. Just siding, bathrooms, windows, and more.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
I'm Joni Grandy, and I invite you to remember a loved one during Hospice's Light Up a Life Holiday Memorial. With a gift of $10, your loved one's name will be displayed on a holiday tree. With a donation of $100, receive a cardinal ornament to symbolize your support of Hospice's mission.
Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans, no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you, so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson, always expect the best.
For your financial advice to be useful, it needs to be tailored to how you live your life. I'm Jim McGuire, branch manager of Baird's Utica office. At Baird, we provide investment and financial planning for all areas of your life. Retirement, family, and estate plans, and charitable giving. Plus, we coordinate our advice with your tax and legal advisors, so you can be confident all of your plans are working together for you. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdUtica.com.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
8:34, WIBX in studio right now is Senator Joe Griffo. And I was saying, Joe, it's not often that we get you in here where you have multiple things that, especially as we enter, it's perfect for the entering of the month of December. But, you know, some resolution on some issues that you've been fighting for over the course of the last year.
Well, we have some resolution, but also there has to be further action taken in a number of these cases in order to really bring it to where we want to be.
I'm going to let you guide us here on this.
Well, the first one is we were on the show, and we talked about how Senator Gillibrand had nominated somebody from the Capital District for a federal judgeship here that Judge Hurd has here in our area. And we criticized that because there's so many talented attorneys in this area, and she totally bypassed this and basically was trying to steal a seat from Utica. And the Capital District already has several of these federal judges, as does the Syracuse area. So this is a Northern District of New York, and just most recently, the court itself, the Northern District, is looking at sanctioning the very person that she had nominated to be considered by the president for this position in our area.
Right.
And they would have moved, even despite their claims that they would have stayed here and he would have traveled from Albany to Utica to hold court. It's preposterous. It's now time for Senator Gillibrand to work with the local officials here. And look, this is going to be a Democrat nominee. There's no issue there. The question is, there's a number of talented individuals in our community and this region that should be considered for this position.
And her claim, this really bothered me, and because Judge Hurd is a good judge, a good man, who oversees the naturalization and has over the years of so many people who, by the way, have done it the right way, right? Become American citizens the right way. Many of these people probably know more about American history than the rest of us do because they study it to become American citizens. But what Judge Hurd does over there is just fantastic. To imply that he would almost imply that he was racist over this, he didn't want a minority judge, is appalling that she would go down that road. There are plenty of minorities that could be selected right out of here.
It was outrageous, her comments, to try to in any way soil the reputation of a distinguished jurist like David Hurd. Judge Hurd has been an extraordinary judge throughout his career, and he can continue in senior status, actually. That's what he was looking to do, that he could pick and choose cases, and you would have an opportunity. And you would think this administration, because you always talk about how presidents try to pack the courts, the lower courts, this was their opportunity. But to think that you're going to steal something from a region is wrong, and it shows the lack of attention and concern that Senator Gillibrand has, in my opinion, for this area. But I'm hopeful now because we've heard voices from both from elected officials from across this region, from both parties, saying keep the seat here. And hopefully now she can rectify that. And this, I think, just vindicates it. I mean, in the sense that this individual wasn't even, is going to be sanctioned.
Yeah.
So by the court.
What's the reason? Why is he being sanctioned?
I don't know all the legal aspects, but I know the judge, he's a litigator right now for the Attorney General's office, and they were talking about how he wasted countless hours of the court's time. And I'm not sure how. There's some specific cases. I think it was a case with Upstate Medical Center, actually. And so the bottom line is you have a judge saying that this person is basically not, sanction worthy. So how do you consider a candidate like that for a court?
Yep.
And so hopefully now this gives Senator Gillibrand another opportunity to look here and to nominate someone from here. And I hope Senator Schumer steps in too, even though it's her. They switch off on making these recommendations, but I'm hopeful Schumer will say, look, you got to stay into the central New York area.
And in case there's any confusion, because people will say, oh, this is an officially sanctioned such and such. By sanction, you mean reprimand.
Correct.
And he'll get a little smack on the hand for what he did.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so that issue, that's a big one. It is, and if you can, just talk about the importance of having a federal judge here in our local community, and the importance of that.
Well, we fight for a lot of these things here, right? We want to make sure people are paying attention and appreciating and respecting the fact that we have talented people here. And in this case, as I said, there are a number of jurists in the Capital District and the Syracuse area. So this is an opportunity. It makes it, the access is better for people in the North Country and here in the Mohawk Valley. It's just paying and being respectful for the fact that this is a significant swath of population here. And they deserve to be treated fairly, and this position is here, and it shouldn't be stolen.
It is important to have a judge, a federal judge, who understands the community he's overseeing. I think that's incredibly important.
It's logistics, too. It's access. It's a number of things.
Okay, so that's an issue. Next issue.
$11 billion that the State Department of Labor
Can't believe this.
basically paid people wrongly because they swindled the system. And now there's an effort to say, well, we're not sure what we're going to do or how we can go about getting that money back. That is totally unacceptable.
This is COVID money. This is COVID money that went to businesses. And when you say these were fraudulent unemployment numbers as well.
Yes, mainly unemployment, and
Okay.
it's people that basically filed that shouldn't have filed, or they gave money to people that shouldn't have received money, and now they're basically almost looking to write it off as opposed to going back and retrieving that money, recouping the money, and then in cases where people purposely swindled the system,
They should go to jail.
hold them accountable for
yeah.
their actions. And I just cannot believe when you talk about, our budget's over $200 billion, but still $11 billion when we talk about the needs in our communities, in education, in higher education, in cities. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So this is a failure in the Department of Labor at the state level. And I think it's got to be corrected right now. And they've got to, in my opinion, we've asked for Assemblywoman Bunchon and I have asked for a legislative hearing to find out what went wrong. I mean, the excuse now is COVID overwhelmed us. Well, it overwhelmed everybody.
Sure.
You have a responsibility and an obligation to perform your duties and to do it well, and particularly when you have responsibility for taxpayers' dollars. This is $11 billion. So I want to make sure that we find out where that money went, how much we can recoup, and hopefully most of it,
And you
and
say
then to hold people accountable.
in some cases, these were bad actors fraudulently using someone else's Social Security number to get money.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
People who filed that should not have filed, and took advantage of the system, basically.
Right.
And
these were these accelerated payments, not accelerated, but increased payments that
Correct.
were doubled almost.
Correct. So we need to find out how it went wrong, why it went wrong, and what we're going to do more importantly to recoup as much of that money as possible, and in my opinion, to hold the bad actors accountable. If we can find them, and
Sounds to
there's
me
gotta
what
be
they,
a consequence.
what they want to do is write it off, and then ultimately over time they will increase the rates that businesses end up paying, and that the average worker pays.
Well, they're doing that right now, actually.
Yeah.
They're trying to recoup because of some of the federal actions, and the state then has to recoup certain amounts of money, and they're putting that on the burden of the business community right now.
Right,
And that's
right.
what's absurd when you think about the fact now that they want to write off $11 billion, but yet hold small businesses accountable for additional monies that they say they can't afford right now, so the state can't absorb that burden.
Yeah,
So we're going to need you to participate in absorbing that burden.
Think about if you were a business owner involved in this. So I don't know if the term is pass through, but essentially that's taxpayer money we gave to the state that they administered to fraudsters, or that they not administered, doled out basically. And they just go, oh, sorry, but that's our money.
However, if the business were to break a rule or do something improperly, the penalties are enormous.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah, absolutely, and we see that all the time. If you're entitled to a tax refund from the state, it takes forever for you to get it.
Yeah.
But if you owe the state money and you don't pay it back within a certain period of time, they're going to charge you a penalty. That's
Right,
outrageous,
right.
and these kind of things need to stop.
Yep.
I have a story just quickly that I wrote this past April, so we're going back, 6-7 months, but there were some instances where they cracked down on people. In this particular case, 2 employees of the Department of Labor had stole more than $1.5 million in unemployment insurance benefits. Ultimately, I believe one was convicted, one pled guilty. But you even had state employees who saw how easy it was, so they developed their own schemes to bilk the state and taxpayers. You can't just let it go, because it's going to happen even worse the next time we have a situation like this.
And then what about the gun issue?
So we know there's a lot of issues taking place and challenges facing our communities, and guns being one of them. So I convened a meeting on Monday and brought in the acting superintendent of state police, Superintendent Negrelli. I think he's doing a very good job. He's a very talented individual. And we brought in the Division of Criminal Justice Services from the state of New York, as well as the Division of the Department of Homeland Security. brought with the mayors of Rome and Utica. The sheriff attended, the county executive attended, just to try to get everybody around the table talking about some of the unique challenges they have, trying to ensure that they're aware of many of the resources that we may have available that they may not be utilizing and could and should be considering utilizing, but also what other things can be done. So basically, the policy obviously is a problem.
Yeah.
I know Chief Williams continued to discuss that. I hope we can change that policy, but again, the legislative majorities that are there have been reluctant to do so. We'll see what kind of governor we have now because the election is over, and whether or not she goes more towards the middle now than she was a little to the middle, then went to the left, and we'll see where she swings come January. But hopefully there's an acknowledgement that these policies are contributing to part of the problem.
Do you think she's, go ahead, and then I'll ask you a question about the
second
governor.
Thing that we can do is take a look at some of the regulations that we have and the structures that exist. For instance, we know we have a retention and recruitment problem with law enforcement right now. So what can we do? And we're seeing this in Oneida County. The sheriff talked about the unique program that's being done over at corrections right now. Can we do something similar for police exams across the state where we give them greater latitude, flexibility, increase the age instead of 30 or 35, go to 40 potentially, and maybe have a different way that we grade them as opposed to taking that test, written exam. So we're looking at all those kind of things because those are things we can do that I think will make a difference. And then finally, again, it's trying to ensure that there's an inventory of resources that are available and that we are taking advantage of those resources, or if we can direct additional resources to our communities, we're going to try to advocate and deliver accordingly.
Do you think there's that the governor is understanding of the fact that she almost lost to Lee Zeldin, and that probably the decisions that came out of Albany probably cost Democrats seats in Congress? They've got to be putting pressure on this governor right now.
So I think there's an acknowledgement and acceptance that people are fearful of their safety.
Yeah.
And that crime is an issue. So I believe that even they get that now because they've seen it as a result of the election. However, the determination as to what approach is undertaken, I think, remains to be seen. And that's my concern. We believe that you need to revise these policies that have been put in place to re-examine, re-examine and revise, but also to get the input of the law enforcement officials and the prosecutors and the criminal defense attorneys. Talk to these people about what could and should be done to deal with these problems. So we'll see what happens. We got a month before session begins, the new regular session, and I'm hopeful that we will have them paying attention. And we'll see a lot of that maybe in the state of the state. That'll be a preview as to what direction the governor wants to pursue now that she is, in her own right, been elected as governor.
You know, I'm just going to make a little joke here about the high wind advisory. That will swing the pendulum. You know, you're just going back and forth. You want a calm wind. But from your meeting, one of the things that came out of it, I think is fairly obvious, but it's difficult, is, as you said, revise the legislation that exists, one of them being raise the age, the other one being bail reform. You brought members together, they're bipartisan, Democrats, Republicans, law enforcement officials, state officials. The thing is that it's got to be revised, but you can't do it without help from the legislature. The legislature and the governor have to buy into this. So it seems like all the players involved agree on what a solution is, but do you think you'll get that buy-in from other members of the legislature, I'll say?
I don't know. And I do believe, as I indicated, that I think they understand and appreciate now that this is an issue that deserves their attention. The question is, how do they best approach it? Because some of the members, particularly the urban members from the city of New York, strongly still believe philosophically that they did the right thing. Now, whether or not there'll be any movement because their conference is different, that remains to be seen. But we're going to continue.
Their communities are probably, you would argue, more victimized than rural communities, right?
You actually saw Republican Assembly members elected in New York City. We didn't fare as well in the Senate, but in the Assembly, you actually turned out. They basically took out of office longtime incumbents, Democrat incumbents, and a lot of it was because people just don't feel safe, even in the boroughs down in the Big Apple.
What will be done about it? Because there is a problem in New York and around the country with mental illness.
That's a great point that you raised, and the mayor of New York City basically said something that I have been saying for a long time, that now he's going to deal with this issue by maybe putting people with mental illness in certain facilities. What I've said for a long time is we have to do this in a different
Prior
fashion.
to this, they had to be willing.
Correct.
And that
so
will
now it's involuntary.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think we have to accept the fact, and you have to talk to some clinical people on this. But from my own personal opinion, some of this is a long-term illness that you're not going to cure, so you need to be treated properly.
Right.
So I believe we need to open up a quasi-institutional setting again, where individuals who have perpetual mental health issues will have an opportunity to have access to a facility where we can monitor their treatment, where we know they'll have a safe place to go each night, so they can come almost like assisted living,
Yeah,
where you come in and dormitory style, where you come and go. But also, we know that their treatment is being monitored and it's being
Right now,
undertaken.
they're not
Correct.
being monitored. They're just
No.
being,
Well,
and they're not staying on their medicines.
Correct.
Which is oftentimes when you see crimes being committed, it's people who've gone off their meds that are an illness that 50 years ago they were monitored because there were facilities to handle it.
Well, and we used to. It was different. We'd strap them to beds and
Well,
make sure they
But
took
you
their
don't
meds.
have to be inhumane, right?
Correct. We don't need one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like that. But it does have to. There has to be an acceptance, and it's impressive that the mayor of New York City has said this now. There's an acknowledgement that this is a chronic illness, and in some cases cannot be cured. Just like we talk about physical illnesses, health illnesses of the body, and so the mind is similar. And I think once you accept that in some cases, and we provide the proper setting and regimen and treatment, I think we can see that making a difference in what's happening. And that is humane for them, too, because, again, you're providing them safety, a place where they can go, because many of them don't want to go to homeless shelters because they're concerned about their own safety there. You know, people stealing from one another and in the New York City area.
And a lot of the shelters won't allow them in if they're under the influence of alcohol or
Correct.
drugs.
In the New York City area particularly, more than
yeah.
any of our community resources up here.
The argument that it's more humane to let somebody sleep on the street in the Northeast in the winter is just I just don't understand.
Well, there is that law in New York State where if it gets down to a certain temperature, they have to be brought. The authorities have to step in. But you know.
But this is we
But
talk
what if
about
they don't
how,
want to?
They have to. I think. I
but
believe.
we talk about again the focus on mental health. We don't do enough of that. We should really focus on this and direct and devote the resources necessary and to address the issue. And I'm hopeful that maybe this is the beginning of doing something like that.
I have a question. It's probably the biggest question of all, and that is, what are you going to be doing for your new constituency in the town of Columbia? What will you do for those residents?
I'm going to work very closely with the county legislator from that area, who is highly respected and.
Really, I'm told a smart guy who actually produces children that are very smart.
Well, I think he can't be held
my father, the
accountable. He can't be held accountable for his offspring.
That's good.
All the
Okay.
offspring.
All right.
But yeah, County Legislator Keeler is.
I've shamed the family name. I apologize for that.
I look forward to working with your dad. He's just a class act, and look forward to. In fact. He is just such a good person too. Not only is he a talented individual, but he's a good man.
Shows you the apple just doesn't fall that close to the tree after all. Richard with a question out here on line 2. Hi, Richard. You're on with Senator Joe Griffo.
Yes. Hey, pet peeve of mine there. I don't understand the logic behind knocking down all the rest areas on the New York State Thruway, and I was curious whose idea that was, because they've taken down a relatively nice Adirondack-looking building, and they put up this commercial building that doesn't seem to be large enough to hold anything, and this is supposed to be progress. They had nice buildings, and I was just wondering if you had anything to do with that, because I think they've made an absolute disaster of that, in my own opinion.
Richard, could I just say that I was very surprised by some of the buildings that came down. They weren't that old.
With the big windows up top,
Yeah.
those were beautiful.
And so they're doing small versions and large versions. But I think there's a local guy that is in charge of overseeing all of this. I actually met him in West the Canastota exit rest area.
So this was not under the purview of the legislature.
Hold on here, Richard. Go ahead.
This was not under the purview of the legislature. We had no involvement in this.
This was Cuomo, wasn't it?
This was, it started, I think, under Cuomo, and then the Thruway Authority actually did all this. Matt Driscoll is leaving as the executive director of the Thruway Authority. He's a good guy. He was former mayor of Syracuse. I'm not sure what their
only-
interest and motivation was because
Hold on, Richard. Yep,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
sure what their interest and the motivation was is trying to design these like they are because I agree with the caller, with Richard,
They
and
have,
with you.
so there are small facilities and large facilities. The large ones aren't done yet.
Right, and even some of the people that are in these facilities, like I think Chick-fil-A, a lot of people want Chick-fil-A. The problem is they're not open on Sundays, apparently.
Right.
So if you're on the Thruway on a Sunday and you're looking to stop at a food
Well,
truck,
I got to tell you,
I don't know what kind of thought went into this,
I
but
have
obviously,
to tell you, since COVID, it's hard to find the restaurants open in these rest
True,
areas.
true.
Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, the only other thing that I've heard, of course, it's third party, is the fact that Hochul's husband is involved with this program with Chick-fil-A.
What is that? Sorry,
I don't know that.
And-
I don't know of that story.
that
right
he's
now.
involved in some of the concessions that are actually being added to the. I don't know about the Chick-fil-A part.
Well, the highway, the throughway. I mean, what? I mean, oh my goodness! I mean, that's ridiculous.
I'm aware of the allegation about the bills, right, but not about the throughway
Well, it's
vendors.
Delaware North. I mean, that's or he was involved with one of the big companies
right
in Buffalo.
Yeah,
and
but I heard that they were also involved in the throughway rest areas.
I didn't know that.
that I
Yeah.
do not know.
And Bill, if I've got a minute, I'd also like to follow up because I asked you before, and I don't know if Mr. Grippo he checked into it. Those garbage trucks that are coming up the highway from down south, from New York City, they're going to Waterloo, and from what I understand, that facility there has been contaminated. The water has been in that area.
You know anything about that?
I do not. know anything
Nothing being done, and we're having them do legislation downstate. And they're bringing their garbage up here. I mean, if this is how this works, I mean, they pass this nonsense with the cash bail, but yet we're allowed to bring those garbage trucks up this highway. You must see them on your travels to Albany.
I don't know what that is at this point in time. I mean, what it may be is that it may be a contract between
I'm
the city
sure
of
that
New
somebody
York
right
and
in
a landfill
Waterloo
in that
or-
area.
yeah.
But if there's a water issue, I would hope that the community there would raise that.
I have to say that I travel the throughway a lot. I have never seen. But
I
then
see a
again,
lot of- I see a lot of trucks.
There'd be trucks, and most likely the garbage would be covered. I wouldn't know it was inside the truck.
So much being covered. I mean, you can clearly see what
it's
a garbage truck looks like.
Let me tell you
Well, yeah,
something.
but I don't think the garbage trucks that come and empty the bins are driving
No,
4
no,
hours
they're,
upstate.
They're big tractor trailers.
Yes, yeah.
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 All right, listen, Richard. We will send it. Would you agree, Joe, to look into this?
Yeah,
and
we can try to.
We'll talk
look
about it
into
next
that,
week.
Sure.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right.
Just some things that really bug me. I don't know what's going on in this state.
Listen,
No
Richard.
no wonder everyone's leaving.
We don't want you to be bugged. We're going to look into this and see what we can
Yeah.
find out. All right.
Well, you know, they're passing nonsense legislation downstate. If they want to play this kind of game, we don't let them bring their crap up here.
Okay.
Simple as that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Fair enough.
Bye-bye.
We'll look into that, but it may be a contractual issue between.
Well, here's
the
the
city of
problem.
New
You may
York.
have someone upstate saying, how much should we get paid? Yes, bring it up here.
Correct.
I
And if
can't
there's-
imagine it's they're bringing it up without our knowledge, or there isn't some
correct,
deal cut.
Correct. And then if there's an aquifer issue, I would hope that the county of origin there or the community would be
looking
concerned
into
and
it.
you would be
Yeah.
hearing them say something.
I'm almost out of time. I have Jim in Rome with a question. Do I have time?
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
can go to the top.
We've decided no longer to play commercials, Joe, around here. Good morning, Jim.
Yes, hi, Jim in actually Utica. But
Okay, Jim in Utica.
Senator Grifo, I got one of your survey cards here, and it's still good to send to you. I know it's been a while. I had it sitting there. I filled it out and I got to send it out to you in the mail. I mean, it's still. I mean, you still going to look at this or?
Yeah, absolutely. What we try to do, that would help us as we begin the new session, Jim. If you want to fill that out and bring it in, we're compiling all that right now. We'll put the results on our website when we have it, but it also just gives me a sample of opinion. That's how we use some of the mail when we send mail out to survey people, to inform people, you know, or to report to people.
So fill it out and be honest. And listen, if you're critical, don't sign your name to it. Trust me, don't do it.
Mine's a little bit about housing, about
Okay.
affordable houses for more middle class people than the upper echelon or the lower echelons. You know what I mean? It's just like it seems like the middle class is just
left behind.
Wait, rents, and then for either one way or the other way. I don't know, but
Fair enough, Jim. Jim, we're up against the clock. I appreciate
Yep,
it. Fill
yep,
that,
yep. Okay,
fill
thank
that
you.
survey
Yep.
out, and that's a very good point. Thank you.
So,
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yep.
real quick, our man Andrew Dominio says he's been on the Thruway. He says of the new travel plazas, they're way too small. And a friend of mine messaged in.
And he lost all that weight, and he can't fit in.
And another friend of mine messaged in to say, in jest, how about bringing back shock therapy into that? I said, for elected officials only. When we were talking about
that's good.
And he looks at me as he's saying that.
So I'm of a different opinion on the rest areas, if I could, and because there are larger facilities and smaller facilities. I think it works. And I was in the one in Canastota, which is one of the smaller, and I've also been in the larger ones. And other than a couple of those key locations, like first one coming out of New York City, it's a large one, double-decker type thing, second floor, for a reason, because it's always packed. But many of them are not. All you see is empty seats and wasted space in those big buildings. I think it costs the heat. I don't think this is a bad plan, and I would hope that a lot of research has gone into this. If anyone does research, it's retail. They do great research and spend a lot of money on finding the perfect setup, and I think maybe this isn't so bad.
So you might want to get somebody from the Thruway Authority on.
That's a good
They
idea.
could probably give you why and how.
Yeah, good idea.
That's a good point, though.
I think it's kind of like the Complete Street thing. It's everybody's saying no before they've had
Like
a
on
chance
a whim, they went and
to
did it.
really
There's a lot of-
right.
Yeah.
And one would hope that at the state level, and I realize we're talking about New York State in 2022, but I would hope that they've done some real research. The person I spoke with, who's from here, that is overseeing this for the company that he works for, I think knows what he's talking about. So I'd be cautious before you say it's bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, people can have their opinion, though, right? They can say they don't like the appearance
not on this
of it or
program.
this-
Haven't you heard? I stomp down on people with their opinions.
Real quick, we have a listener question, and I'd like you to address it today in case she is correct. Dawn wants to know, Jimmy Fallon tickets go on sale today?
Jimmy Fallon tickets go on sale this morning.
Hey.
For Fat Cats Comedy Club coming back on February 17th and 18th. You'll be able to go to fatcatscomedyclub.com to purchase your tickets. They go on sale today. We will, February 17th and 18th, we will have Jimmy on tomorrior morning.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about that.
Awesome.
Joseph, thank you.
My pleasure.
A lot
My
of stuff
pleasure.
today.
Thank you.
A lot of stuff. River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in central New York. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. If you're looking to sell your property in 2023 or 2022, you better hurry up. River Hills. It's all about the service they provide. Located in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and online, riverhillspropertiesllc.com. River Hills Properties.
Lisa Booth here for Bishop Gold Group. So just when you think the stock market's recovering and everything's going back to normal, well, here comes another downturn. So what are you going to do? The answer is gold. The company that I trust is Bishop Gold Group. They can advise you on investing in gold and gold IRAs. So act now and get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualified purchase. Call Bishop Gold Group on your phone, dial pound 250, keyword Bishop Gold. That's pound 250, Bishop Gold, or go to bishopgoldgroup.com.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
William Mattar, for the win. Insurance companies make more money by paying you less. You've been seriously injured in a car crash, so why should you settle for less money than you deserve? At William Mattar, we've handled thousands of serious injury claims. There are short time deadlines, so call now. Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar, 315-444-4444. Main Street, Williamsville, South State Street, Syracuse.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
This is Harry G., the heat pump expert from Country Suburban. When your state planning to eliminate fossil fuels, heat pumps are the wave of the future. Heat pumps can save you up to 30% or more on your heating and cooling bills. Right now, you can receive up to $20,000 in heat pump incentives. Call 315-735-5300 for a free estimate.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot